Call us to order here. Effingham County Board of Commissioners Work Session Agenda, August 18th, 2026. Time is now 4:03 p.m. Jonathan, what you got?
All right. Well, we're here today to talk about the tentative list of the next resurfacing package. And I've got a list, but sometimes it's easier to see it on a map. And so what you should be seeing, and I can zoom in as need be, but this is our PCI map that Withers Ravenel just completed for us. And this is helpful because it shows you, graphically the conditions of the roads across the county. And, the dark green's very good, the light green's good, yellow's satisfactory. Fair is orange, poor is the bright red, and then you've got that auburn burgundy color that's very poor. And then you have roads that are white, those are just dirt roads. So those were not evaluated. And so what I've done is we've got the Power BMI analysis of all the different measures that you can use to maintenance your roads. And anyway, I looked at it, and then what I did is I simplified it by trying to group the roads together to make a package. And so what you'll see on this map are the cyan, this bright blue square or circle, or even just a line, are roads that I have, highlighted saying, hey, these are the roads that both the model is saying that we should do, and then it's Jonathan looking at it and trying to actually make it a resurfacing package. And so with that, tonight what we can do is just discuss all the different roads, or if there's certain roads that you want to get added to the list that aren't in the list, we certainly can, and try to get this package to exactly what you all want before it goes out to bid. That way we can keep the change orders to a minimum.
Thank you.
But if there is a change order, I mean, it could just be an additional road maybe. But anywho, just trying to make sure that we're, everyone's on the same page once this thing does go out. And so with that, what I can do is I'll just briefly give a high level of the roads. In District 1, we're not doing a whole lot. The main road to mention is Midland Road. And with Midland Road, we're looking to not do a full resurfacing. We're looking to try to do a different measure. So looking to, really just kind of do like a fog seal or a micro leveling on that. There might be some deep patches that we have to do on certain areas. But anyway, it's a long stretch of road, but it's not going to cost as much, is my point. And then in District 2, we've got Collick-Hemley Road. And then I've highlighted some of these neighborhoods in here. The one thing I did add to here that is not on the list currently is I did go ahead and add Forest Haven. I think that's Crane Street, and then you have Squirrel Run and Moss Loop. The reason why I added them is I know we're maybe wanting to wait until the parkway is complete. Right now, we're being told that, Goshen to Blue Jay on Effingham Parkway is going to be complete at the end of September, and then this would be sometime in the spring or summer of next year. So if we went ahead and resurfaced this would be towards the tail end of the parkway being complete. And so, it's something to consider. We could always push it if we wanted to, but
Ahead of it, if we can, it's going to get traffic once it opens.
Would that be a lane widening as well, or is it? Or I don't know what the current condition is.
Yeah, I'd recommend that we just resurface it. I can check the widths on there. I believe that there's probably Squirrel Run and Moss Loop might be like 18 feet wide. I want to say Forest Haven's closer to 20. But anyway, my recommendation would be, since it's a local road, we just resurface it. Now, if the board wants to go a different direction, we can do that, but
What do you think you'll need? If it's gonna get significant traffic increase, I don't anticipate a ton. I think people probably living in the new subdivisions on Hodgeville, on that end of of Hodgeville, and possibly along Collicounty may use that. Everybody else are gonna keep going north to hit Goshen.
let me,
No reason for them to go and backtrack, so.
right.
But I think it will get a lot more, of course, of what it's getting today.
Let me verify the width here for Forest Haven, and if we did widen one, that'd be the one I'd probably
Yeah, and
recommend.
it's tight.
Okay,
And that was one of the things we talked about, I think, when we kept it open.
Mhm.
is, Yeah, we want
Yeah,
to take care of that.
and I think if I, and correct me if I'm wrong, when we talked about leaving it open, we were gonna kind of watch to see, and
Yeah.
if we needed to address it, we could address it, if it became an issue on that road, too much traffic or.
Really hard to determine what's gonna happen there, but it used to be an ash road, they did something, I think it's is it chip seal now, or is it,
it's a paved road.
It's a paved road, okay.
Forest Haven is.
it's not like your regular smooth asphalt type of a road. It's kind of
Yeah, it's asphalt.
I thought it was normal
Yeah, it's
yeah,
normal
I think it's just asphalt. But, yeah. It's at a state now, it's in a fair condition. This was, as of this spring. We could wait and see, but it's definitely, if we don't do it this round, then for certain we'll be wanting to do it the following year.
take the
Wait,
parkway open and wish we'd have, get,
that's right. It'd be nice to go ahead and have it in, and then we can always maybe defer it to the end of the contract even.
you can always
Um,
push it later.
We could do
but
that,
It's hard to get it done quick, as we know.
right. Okay,
I have no problem with that, if we wanna push it later and we see like, we wanna wait,
yeah, let me make a note for that.
that's probably a better way to do things than just put it on the back burner, cause then it takes so long to get anything paid.
And I think, my concern is with regards to the shoulder, particularly if it becomes additional traffic, people getting their mail or whatever. It probably doesn't have a shoulder on it now. I could say definitely doesn't have a shoulder on it now. Whether or not we want to look to see if, when a road that potentially could have that cross traffic in it, has the safety features that really you need on it. And, that's just and again, we could wait and see what happens with traffic on it, but then you're doing it after the parkway opens, where it's gonna have more traffic on it, when you could get it done before and there's no traffic on it. So, I would just kind of dig deeper into that one, to see, what the potential future needs might be on the road, based on its traffic patterns are gonna change.
Sure, okay. Yeah, we can certainly do that.
Do we have anything slotted for, I guess for lack of a better term, the suicide lane on 30 and Collicounty? I know we were gonna look into that, I forgot to ask you about that earlier. It used to have a lane where you could go around,
Yeah,
and the schools talked to
When
me
is
about
that
that.
roundabout gonna be? Is that, we're held up by the
I
state on
remember
that one?
coming
Yeah.
up,
so that,
Transportation
that-
Board.
yeah, that roundabout, we have one parcel left, as part of the right-of-way acquisition, and then we can start construction on it. And we actually had an email come through today. I think we've been able to meet with the last property owner, and there's some requests that they're, wanting, and I think we can do it. So anyway, we're really close. I expect us to be able to hopefully put this thing out to bid, next month with the developer. That's a developer's agreement that we're working with. I think it's Stanley Martin's to the south, so,
Ford had some,
Turn lane, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's an issue I hear about as well.
yeah, Dr. Ford's even called me, it's dangerous, when
Sure.
the school buses are having to stop, it's backing
Yeah,
up.
and he asked the question in a transportation board not too
Right.
long ago, and I think he got the unfortunate news that we were having to wait,
Well,
you know.
Well, but if we get it under contract by the end of the year, I mean, we really can't put a temporary one in there at that point because it's under construction, right? I mean,
Well, so what I can do is, they've got to build up, the roundabout, anyway. And, what we can do is in the plans, maybe there's something we can do to where we bump out the asphalt, a little bit to create some kind of turnaround, or maybe that can't be done. And what's gonna happen there is the speed limit's gonna get reduced anyway to 25
That would
miles
help
per
a
hour.
lot, come on
And
that
so,
curve.
As long as it's moving.
that will help with the safety concerns for sure.
Yeah.
Cause I mean, it needs to be reduced for construction. This is one of those scenarios where in my opinion is we might just be better just to let the construction move forward, and that'll help that situation. But, with that, there's no other questions on that. The next district, talk through, there's some roads off of Low Ground Road. Some of the neighborhoods are due, to do. I think this is like Burnt Tree, I'm forgetting the name, Country Estates is something I'm thinking of. But it's on the north side, wanting to go ahead and get some of those. Low Ground Road Phase 1, hopefully I think we've just got one parcel left, and I'll be able to put that out, to bid, or we'll be able to put that out to bid. So I'm excited to get that underway.
That particular part for sure.
So if we can get Low Ground Road, the worst portion of it, that's that red portion you see here. It's just about Tina's Way is that road right there. That'll all be FDR'd. Hopefully that'll be under contract this year. And then these neighborhoods here will be getting touched in the spring, and then the rest of the Low Ground Road will get done.
Where are we at in the right-of-way process on Low Ground?
Yeah, so we broke it out into 2 phases so we could implement it faster. The first phase is that red segment of road. I've got one parcel left, and then I can put it out to bid.
That's right along that big field.
That's,
Is that the one where you
Ready
gotta
to cut
meet
off
Able
with
to
the
work out
call.
a deal with
Yeah.
most folks? I mean, didn't have to look at eminent domain or?
nope,
Okay.
so far so good. The last one's the gas company. So we're anxious to get some resolution there. But that's from Tina's Way is this private road right there, all the way to McCall. And then phase 2, we're still in the middle of right-of-way acquisition on that. So to be determined there, but I'm hoping we don't have to do anything like that. But most people understand, the road needs some attention, we need some additional right-of-way for that. So, anyway, I think it pairs well with the Low Ground Road project that we have going on. So we're trying to, make it complete, as this thing continues to move along. But that'll touch all those there. And then I didn't mention this is Midland Drive too. We're also touching that, but it's a smaller road. Commissioner Burdette, I think you mentioned this one too, just in our meeting. I didn't have it highlighted, but it's, I'm gonna mess the name up.
Helmy Drive.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
What is it?
Says Helmy,
Oh,
It has an extra,
Hemley.
has an extra E in it.
Hemley Drive.
So, anyway,
And I get,
No, it just has an E instead of an L.
yeah,
that's right,
Yeah.
that's right. So, anyway.
Somebody either got sloppy or got easy. That was that last part.
That's
just
right.
went
They,
one way or the
they,
other.
they did that with my name too, my last name. So anyway, I don't know how you got in there, but we got it. But anyway, so we're wanting to add that one in, as well. And we also have in District 4, Little McCall, Road, this portion from McCall Road to Courthouse. And then you have Webb Road, I think this is BB, and I think, this road's eluding me right now, but,
Forest Heights?
yeah, well.
No, Forest,
so,
Yeah,
Highland Drive.
Highland.
Highland Drive.
Yeah, that one. That's right. Yep, Highland Point Drive. So, wanting to get those. This is Shadowbrook. might need to reconsider doing this one or the entirety of it. Not looking to do the back portion per se, but with the roads that I have, I'm a little bit over budget. But anyway, so I've got to trim somewhere, but I've just got to rerun some of the numbers, but we might try to not do Shadowbrook, and maybe just hit some of the main pieces of it.
Which we
Point
did
has to
already,
walk
right?
by Joseph Rasher's office, right?
We did one small section. It was just the intersection in between, I think it was actually here. Yeah, it was this one right here. It was just a turnaround part. What I was recommending doing is getting the main drag and getting, you know, some of the fair roads and go ahead and get majority of it. Wasn't going to touch this back piece though, where we're good, and probably not touch that and not touch some of those roads. But
That neighborhood built back in the early 2000s had ash base, I believe. It was one of the first
really,
that they allowed the ash from Georgia Pacific.
okay.
Little history lesson that I remember. I wasn't here then, but I've
Yeah.
heard the stories.
Now, what we did do, Tim, which you might be thinking of, is the Log Landing Road and, you know, the drive, all these roads right here, they got just resurfaced. So it doesn't reflect in the map because this was done in the spring, but we should be getting a new map, I will say that, this fall, later in the fall. It will reflect the work that we just did, and then it'll also, I'm going to have it include this next package as it being completed, so we can continue to keep our data up to date. And then District 3, I've got Springfield, Tusculum wanting to get this last long stretch. There were two roads back here that we got. I think this is Benjamin Ganan. I want to say that's what that is.
Thames Landing down there.
Yeah,
That
it's Sains
red.
Landing, yep. So I wanted to get those last little bit, because we resurfaced the long stretch, and I was like, well, I hate that I didn't get those two, so
Oh, is it?
that's me trying to get it complete. So I snuck that in there.
There's not, but, I mean, you're looking at maybe 6 houses, 7, 8, something like that.
Right.
It's not a huge,
No, but at least it completes the
It's the rest of the
resurfacing,
road.
that's right. And that was a T-Splosh road originally, and we didn't do the other ones because they weren't on the original T-Splosh list, so. But anyway, looking to do that, and then,
nobody's complained to me that it didn't get done, so
okay,
that's at least, yeah. now,
yeah. Maybe it's my OCD side of me coming
They
out.
will now, but, you know, now that, oh, I heard you mention we're gonna get paid, when we gonna get paid?
Well, no, this is all tentative, and I do have to cut some of these roads back, which we can continue to, we'll talk about maybe once I get through the big overview. But we've got Clio and Reedsville Road wanting to continue what we, you know, started on Stillwell, Clio Road. I thought it would be great to finish out Clio and then get Reedsville as well. And then there's Egypt over here as well. So I figured we'd hit the downtown of Egypt, make it a.
So two things.
Yes, sir.
Where does Ingram Road fall in on this?
Ingram Road wasn't highlighted, but
Can't say
I
that.
did add it to the list.
But I do hear about it.
So I've got it,
You want me to add it, cause I've got,
Yeah.
Mostly from.
yeah,
Regular calls on that.
yes, sir,
I mean, all the
yeah.
other stuff doesn't need to be done.
I've got Ingram Road
Ooh, I got 3
on here, I added it. It didn't get the map, but I do have it on here as well. And then Helmy Drive was added as well.
Okay.
But that,
My family grew up on.
that's what I've got so far. If there's any,
Bring that map back up. So
Yes, sir.
One thing, I've talked to you about this
on there
before,
all the time.
but that's just a shame. Old Dixie Highway, that is a newly resurfaced road. And I know with the bridge, it's terrible, and past the bridge, and I'm sure that's where those orange marks are, but that's basically a newly resurfaced road.
Well, that's the chip, FDRE, right?
yes.
Yeah. I mean, would it make if that's holding up, it would probably make sense to asphalt it before it gets too damaged. If it's holding up at this point, we might be safe to put the asphalt on it for the rest of the way.
Going over that bridge is horrible.
Okay. Yeah, we can look at, add that in there, if you would like, Commissioner Deloach, we can certainly do that.
Well, when you get the roads finalized, I mean, I guess you'll reach out to each one of us and just let us know which roads are coming or
Yeah,
what you're thinking.
right. I think right now we're at 10 million. In this spreadsheet it says 12, but it's got Midland Road as a full resurfacing, and I know it's not going to be that. That's about $2 million we're going to trim. But right now in the budget, what we have is 8.5 million. So I'm about $2.5 million over. The one thing I will say, the elephant in the room, maybe is Commissioner Kiefer, I didn't mention District 5. So there's a reason for that. Most of the roads in District 5 are in pretty good shape, with the exception, I know you see old Augusta Road here, but we have the widening project going on.
That's right.
With that. So there are funds being spent in District 5. It's just not a part of the traditional.
Their main arterial,
That's right. We're doing a divided
Yeah,
median
yeah.
with 4 lanes.
I mean, there are, you know, there are a few here and there, but, you know.
There are a few, but I was really trying to.
Deerfield, which is just north of Chimney off Old Augusta, that goes, yeah, that little red line just to the right and down, down,
Down, okay.
up, up, that
Oh, right
red line.
here.
There we go.
This one. You would like that one to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's just very
added. Okay.
small,
What was the
single
name
road.
of that one?
Deerfield, I don't know if it's Deerfield Court.
Deerfield?
Whatever.
Hey, Jonathan, what about the 2027 LMIG? 2026, or whatever the one that they announced last month?
This is a part of that 8.5.
Okay.
So
right.
this package will include the LMIG, the supplemental, and the SPOS money.
But we got to get that list to them in the fall.
Right, from this meeting, I'm wanting to submit the roads that we for sure want to do as the LMIG.
Right.
So after,
The definite ones, maybe in 1 or 2 districts, we can put in for the LMIG, just so we can get them our list.
Absolutely.
And then, because that money's there to spend now.
right,
Yeah.
right.
But I do know asphalt costs are up, so.
They
That's-
are. The good news is we can, with LMIG, we can bank the
Oh, yeah.
money for 3 years. But, I mean, obviously, we prefer to spend it as soon as we can. But that does bring up a great point when it comes to this resurfacing package is asphalt index is currently high due to war, epic fury. And it's up about 33% compared to what we're used to seeing compared to like a year ago. One recommendation we could do for this resurfacing package is wait and see what happens, you know, with the war there. I'm hoping that, you know, the oil prices, right, will drop back to, you know, quote unquote normal. And
But that is.
I know.
well, it's about 30. I could pull it up if you like. I can show you. Let me do that. Let me do that. GDOT.
Normal's relative, isn't it?
It's all right.
But anywho, we could wait, and that would be a substantial savings. Because if we were to put it out right now, we'd be paying about 33% more. So you can see here. This is the asphalt index published by GDOT. It's about $719 per ton as of this month, August. If we were to go back and, you know, look at October, you know, it's $584. So prices have significantly jumped compared to what they were a year ago, which we're reaping the benefits of right now. All this resurfacing that we have going on is based off of last year's prices, which has been great. And then we were able to do that LMIG supplemental in the last contract that we had with McClendon, which was great. That saved us a ton of money by doing that. But a strategy could be that we intentionally wait to put this out to bid in the spring or maybe in January time period, and then the contractor will start in the spring. We're at the point now, it's August. Let's say I could have this wrapped up by the end of this month, right? Put the package out to bid. Takes 30 to 45 days to award, so we're looking at mid-October. Then by the time I get contract signed, it's November, and they're really not gonna be able to do a whole lot. Now it is hot this summer, but I'm praying that the winter will return. But we'll just see. But my point is I guess there's not gonna be a whole lot left in this year to resurface. There might be some good days ahead potentially, but it might be wise or prudent to wait to put it out. Or what we could do is do a strategy of letting the pricing reflect the asphalt index. So as the prices drop, we get a break, but that just means you're paying a premium for any work that get done up front, and then there might be roads that we have to trim.
So what happens, does
Further.
that get locked in, or is it variable all the time?
No, so traditionally we lock in the price, which was a very good thing that we did a year ago. And then, but what I'm saying is we could entertain letting it float with the asphalt index. Or we just wait and see if the prices return back to normal in the spring.
But if you let it float, could you time your improvements a little better to go with if you had that luxury, you know?
Well, usually how we set up our contracts is we give them a certain number of days to complete it. And then the contractor produces the schedule, and then we go from there. But
We're holding the feet to the fire a little more now, aren't we?
we do, yeah, and I will, since we're talking about it, I'm in the opinion that this next contract, we haven't done this, this is an improvement that I want to do, is, you know, you have to notify us a month in advance on when the roads are going to be resurfaced, and then if we enter into less than a month time period out from a road being resurfaced, then you have to pay liquidated damages to change it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm sure all of you can, you know, are maybe tired of, you know, me telling you a date and then the date rolls by and they're not there, and I don't like being in that position. I'm sure you don't like being in that position. So I'd like to add some teeth
Please
to
do.
our contract to
No problem.
get you more accountable or more firm dates, so, you know, we can better serve the public.
If there's no repercussions, why would they be on time? They're just gonna be on their own schedule.
Right. So,
I am a tiny bit concerned about doing that on Midland versus a full paving or repave. If we're gonna have growth out in that area, especially in Blue Jay area, you know, that stretch between Blue Jay and 30, you know, think we should take another look at that, or you pretty confident that's good?
it's in a,
And then we've got a couple developments coming on Blue Jay that's gonna be coming online. We've already got a lot of traffic on that portion of it, of Midland.
yeah, it's in a satisfactory stash right now. I mean, one thing that we or what I recommend as a municipality is we need to start looking at trying to diversify our maintenance strategy. For so long, Effingham County has been behind on maintaining our roads. The board, as of late, I think since T-Splosh has passed, we've resurfaced 39% of our roads that are paved. So go T-Splosh, go Effingham County. But all of that has been in true resurfacing versus if we, you know, get our roads to a higher PCI, you can start to implement different measures in our toolkit to spread our dollars even further, because it's easier to maintain something that's
Extending
good.
the life of those.
Yeah, we're
yeah.
essentially
Yeah.
extending the life of the
You
road.
just don't have to do a resurface every time. You do
Right.
something. Yeah.
So we're finally getting to the point where we can start taking our foot off the gas, because what we've been doing has been a lot. And I'm glad we did it, and it was the right thing to do. But what we can do, Commissioner Burdette, is
Now, we'll tell you when you go to that,
I can
working
get
on roads,
Terracon or
you're gonna hear
geotechnical,
people,
and we can do
you
a
know,
core
that'll say, the
and
road's
just do
fine, what are
an
y'all
analysis
doing?
on it.
Right.
And you gotta
and-
explain
At least
to
that's
them.
stretch.
Or
Because that's where most of us.
the other
go.
thing you'll hear, and Jamie will back this
Yeah,
up,
you said 30
is-
to
32 Blue Jay.
Blue Jay, okay.
while you're doing some cheap,
Yeah,
you know,
I'll get some
recoding of my
core.
road,
I'll
Love
get-
that.
why,
Does it-
why,
it gets
you
traffic,
should be
but
doing a
nothing
full
like that area.
resurfacing.
That's right.
So,
That on Springfield Tuscal.
yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of hit or miss, but if the road's in pretty decent shape, you know, or resurfacing, that's the other thing, it's done really quickly. So it's not like something that, you know, closes down the road
Right.
as much
That's
as
right.
What is our pulse right now on looking at new connector roads as we're growing, getting a little ahead of things? I know we got some in the works already. Are they?
Sure.
About any more? Will we ever be able to connect Gateway to Brinken, or, you know, what's our possibilities there?
So what I think we were, that was one of the things we were going to bring up at a retreat that we rescheduled, and so was essentially, as Jonathan said, you know, we're getting towards the end of the resurfacing of the county road system, and so then you could look at using the funds beyond that, and beyond that would be. Not just the capacity expansion stuff, new roads, wider roads, and essentially seriously taking a look at whether or not it's realistic to resurface all of the ash roads, and then just get that headache out of our system, you know, forever. And so, but that is one of the things we wanted to talk about, because with the changes that potentially are coming down the road, financially for the county, we can be a little bit more aggressive on these more expensive projects.
Love to get rid of those ash roads completely.
Yeah.
What's the pulse in like District 3, Jamie, for converting dirt roads to paved? I mean, I got a couple dirt roads still left in my district, but a lot of people are like, don't touch my road. They want to keep it dirt, and, you know, but not everybody's like that.
Been there, done that.
So,
Well, like I've got Chester Thomas on the list now for T-Splosh. That's a dirt road, because I got with public safety, because it's a straight line. It connects Old Dixie and Highway 21. We've had trouble with it, you know, over the years. It's always had trouble because there's technically 3 wetlands, 3 creeks that cross that road. So in the wet season, I mean, you're fighting Mother Nature
the
pretty hard.
residents there are like wanting it.
So what I've talked with the residents about is, you know, hey, if they would donate right of way, I mean, we could probably get it resurfaced. So, but that's one dirt road that's on the list, but it was a straight shot and it connected two main paved roads, and it made sense, yeah. And then you're right, I have some people that like, don't touch the dirt road.
Yeah, I've been threatened.
Jonathan, what's
Don't touch
PCI stand for?
Oh, PCI, Pavement Condition Index.
Okay.
Jonathan, I've got a random question for you.
Yes, sir.
It just came up recently. So back in 2015, Old Dixie Highway, which I live off of, was resurfaced.
Okay.
And I can't take credit for that. My predecessor already had that on a list, so it made me look really good being a new commissioner, and then a road close to me got resurfaced. But that wasn't because of me. So Old Dixie, it dead ends into, I guess, 21 North Spur, right around the corner from
Correct.
Springfield Elementary School. And that's an odd intersection because you can go right or you can go to the left.
Right.
So when the county did it, Carroll and Carroll did it, they stopped, I don't know, 50 or 60 feet from 21 Spur. And I just always assumed, okay, well, this probably is state right-of-way coming up here, so they did not pave the state right-of-way. So here recently, the state resurfaced 21 Spur. Well, all they did was do the road. So now it's about 60 feet on each side that just never got resurfaced. And of course, I mean, a fair question, I've had a lot of people ask me about that, you know, well, is that county or state? And I'm like, well, I just always assumed it was state, but
It is.
it is?
It's their bypass.
Okay.
It's their bypass to get off of 119 to 21, but they can't use it because of the tunnel. I mean, because of the railroad bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is a state road. I don't know. Maybe it's something we could talk to them about.
Sure.
You
Yeah,
know, I
I
mean,
mean,
they're-
certainly
I probably
reach
should have
out.
brought this up before now, but I thought they were coming back and they were gone and that was it. I thought they were saving that for the end for some reason, but
Well, what I can do is I'll reach out to the project manager, with GDOT and see, what their plan is or, yeah, and just kind of see from there. But I will say, we did contact, Norfolk Southern. I'm gonna toot my own horn. And there's a pipe on the, western side of the bridge that was dripping. I don't know if you noticed the hole in the cement that was forming. And anyway, Norfolk Southern, they came out and repaired their pipe. I was like, please repair your pipe, because GDOT just resurfaced this, and I'd hate to see this happen again. So, anyway, so that got done.
Is there a realistic path of getting that where trucks can go under that off of 21? I know Springfield's been after that for years.
Yeah, so there's a bigger project that GDOT is working on right now, and I think I've got a meeting invite coming up. I know the city manager reached out for me to try to get involved, at least to represent Effingham County as a part of it. But I know they're looking at, it's just a feasibility study.
Yeah.
From what I understand, they have different concepts of trying to, relocate this, or maybe it stays in place, but there's another alternative route.
I just wondered if there was a way to keep that existing route and do something with that rail bridge, which I know is not an easy feat.
No, it's highly contested because it's Norfolk Southern.
if the route is to go through Kiefer Hill Road, I will highly contest that through that process,
Okay.
if that's it. So just
That's why I was saying, Jamie, if we could do something. on
just
the
a
existing
heads up
route.
on that, because
Sure. Yeah, my recommendation, and the city, they're trying to get us involved at GDOT. They only invited the city, but, we're gonna be included on that project. But I know it's just in the feasibility stage right now, but
that's going straight through a lot of AR1 property. So
I think there was about 9 or 10 different versions of it, from what I'm recalling. I can try to send you that, so you can.
I've seen some people out there in the last couple of weeks walking around and surveying some stuff, and I figured that's what they were doing, and that's caused me a lot of heartburn, so.
Okay, let me see what I can do to get a little bit more light on that, and
Okay.
I'll report back. I do have one, unless there's something else resurfacing you guys want to talk about. Is there any roads that you can think of that I did not talk about?
I have three.
You have 3, okay.
Patterson Drive, that's off Courthouse. Apparently you've done a whole bunch around it, but not that one, and that's that main road that goes in, off Courthouse.
Patterson, I believe, is, yeah, there was this road here, I know we included with that last LMIG, going right through here. I think Patterson's this one, if I'm,
It's the one that comes, yeah, it's the one that comes directly off Courthouse,
yeah.
and you paved a bunch of them in there.
Yeah, we
But
went,
that one, people, they've been asking, why didn't he do the main one? So if we could look at that.
money, yep,
Yeah.
I'll add.
I'm
to
not
the
saying
list.
all of this is money.
Sure,
So, Half Moon,
Half Moon. I think that one's a chip seal, if I'm recalling
it is, and
correctly.
it's getting worse and worse.
It's this one right here, is it
mhm.
not?
It's off Wiley, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
it right there.
Yes, ma'am.
It's just like all chip seals.
That goes to a public landing, right?
No,
No,
not,
not
not,
that
it-
one.
no,
No, I'm
no,
thinking
not that one. And then Kiefer Road,
Kiefer Road, okay.
and that's off of, Benjamin Gannan, runs around to
Yeah.
Stillwell Clove,
Bethany, yeah.
yeah. So those 3.
Okay,
You know, if that one gets done, I mean, a lot of those roads in that area, I mean,
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
this is it, is it
At least
not?
last time I was down.
this road right here.
Yeah, it runs from, it runs from Stillwell Cloud to Benjamin Gannon.
Bethany to Benjamin.
Okay.
Bethany to Benjamin
Oh,
Gannon, yeah.
Bethany,
my bad.
okay, okay. Yep. Yeah, okay, good. Well, we'll, I'll
See what
get-
you can do. I mean, I know,
Yeah,
you know.
it'll come at the cost of another road, but I mean, we'll see.
yeah,
It's not that we're not gonna do it, it's just a matter of when.
when,
That's right.
yeah.
But I'll certainly highlight those and then, go from there. Anything else resurfacing wise that y'all could think of? If not, I would like to continue this conversation to an agenda item, if you're okay with it, Ms. Stephanie. It has to do with the CERN agreement. And really just kind of wanted to give a little bit more background to it. And then we may be needing to postpone it.
Yeah, I think if you're going to withdraw it or postpone it, you definitely can have a discussion item to discuss it more now if you want to do that. I think there does need to be there's going to be some revisions after tonight.
I have no idea what you're looking at me. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I didn't know if you were looking at me or if you were looking at Lee. I'm sorry. I think there's just a little bit of, well, I guess there's a discussion, I guess maybe that needs to be had in executive session or, I mean.
Let's just you and I to talk about it. So you and I can talk about it after the meeting with Lee, because I really don't know what the issue is. So
Okay.
before we talk about it now, let's try and get the background of it. And we'll talk about it after the meeting.
Yeah, so I guess either discuss it now or just discuss it during the meeting. I don't think the agreement's ready to be voted on tonight, I guess is my point. That's
Okay.
the only thing. So if we're going to, postpone it from the meeting, you can discuss it, just a discussion item right now, just to make sure, let everybody aware of what it's about.
We can table it at agenda approval,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So is the issue on the Southeast Road Network the county's contribution to it? I don't know what the issue is.
Well, the issues is there's been going back and forth I have with the city attorney for Rankin,
Yeah.
and it's probably not ready. We need to add a couple of provisions to it, and we probably need to clarify an issue or two.
Okay.
So I think it's more or less just let the board know about it, and then we'll try to get it back on the next agenda to have a document that's ready to be signed.
Okay.
That both parties will be ready to sign.
So if just the background of it, so the Southeast Road Network, you all know, connects 21, goes past our new water plant, and then there will be an overpass that connects into McCall right in front of Oglethorpe Power. And so a portion of that is on land donated by the developer to the city of Rincon. The city of Rincon has put some money aside in their T-Splost for it. We have agreed that we would try and find some funding to augment their portion of it as well, along with their money, as well as try and get a grant for the overpass with a railroad elimination grant, since we have a crossing right there that we can close. That's a private crossing that goes onto our water plant property. And so we are working, I guess that might be one of the areas that we've got to clear up with them. We have to have a kind of an agreement for reimbursement on the design, since it's dual jurisdiction and we're applying for federal funding. And so we probably just need to somehow codify in the agreement, not codify, but put into the agreement our agreement on funding percentages on there, clear it up and get it back to y'all, in front of y'all for the next meeting.
That was part of that contract. When does that expire? When are they supposed to have that done by?
I do not know. With the developer, you mean?
Yeah.
I do not know, but I think once we have the agreement done, we can just talk to the developer about extending it.
Gotcha. I
they've-
thought it was coming up
Yeah.
fairly soon, so.
They've indicated in a conversation that they would be open to that, so hopefully that won't be an issue. I think they just want to make sure they see progress on it, and it's not just left hanging out there for
That
years.
commitment to 21 or actually full connection to McCall,
Connection.
their agreement? Do we know?
No, it's to our land, to our water plant property.
I got you.
And once it gets to the water property, if we want to, you can kind of see from what's on the screen now that it does a little bit of a crazy 90-degree turn there. That's just conceptual to get people to know the path. Our preference is to try and cut that off a little bit on that piece of land right there, so that may require some purchase of right-of-way,
Gotcha.
just to make it a smoother transition.
I can share estimated cost if we think it's
What?
beneficial. I can share estimated cost if we think it's beneficial at this point.
Sure.
Okay. So what I've got here is just a breakdown of the different components of the project. So you have the bridge component, and I've also got it by phase. So you have a design, right-of-way, construction, total. And this all came from the pond study that we previously did for the Southeastern Road Network.
Yeah, I originally heard 32.
But overall, we're,
This is not the east-west corridor.
Yeah.
no, it is.
It is.
Southeast, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same, but it comprises of the bridge, the roundabout, the light on 21. You've got the road, the CERN road, which is that main, west to east route, and then you have the GURP road, which is that little stub out for the warehouses to be able to access the road. That's the GURP road, and so anyway, I've got it broken out, and then overall, we're looking at 29 million for the total project. And again, it's just an estimate, but what I have below here is the county's portion, and then I have the city's portion, and this is all local funding. So we're looking at 20.5 million just about, and then 8.5 or 8.6 million for the city of Rankin.
Most of that coming from T-Splost.
So right now, the funding needs to get figured out as far as how we're gonna fund it.
And we did put some money in the last two T-Splosh aside for this, so there are some available for that. But we also got it on the list for federal funding, which is why we're going through the design process procurement a little bit differently here.
Are we talking about this being one of the tier 1 projects, or?
No. But we are talking about it being, getting some federal funds via the MPO for this, in addition to potentially federal funds with a railroad elimination grant. So it's a combination of things that we're working on right now.
If,
Be our water plant access now.
What's that?
How are we gonna access the water plant now?
We have that crossing and a dirt road, so we have that for, I think, a period of 5 years with the ability to extend.
Right.
And so the goal is to eliminate that crossing, use that crossing elimination to get a grant for the overpass.
Did we budget any money in the water plant for the road improvement?
Oh, some of that will be, some of that road will be covered by the water plant, but not all the way out to, not all the way out to 21.
You saw the bridge is half of the cost.
Well, I was, just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we talked about there's potential of under budget on the water system. Could part of that be utilized for access to the plant itself from the 21 side?
And we have, we're just trying to be kind of a little bit reasonable on it, and extend it as far as we think is justified. And so that's what we're working on.
I will say, down here, we do have the federal funding breakout down here. So if we did get federal funding, it's like a 80-20 split. So 20% would be local, 80% would be federal. So instead of having to pay 20 and a half, you'd be at 4 million. So that's really nice if we can get the federal funding.
All right.
But anyway, just wanted to bring it up, kind of, talk about it, just so you guys are a little bit more familiar with it, and then we'll be postponing the agreement for the main agenda. All right, well, thank y'all.
Can I ask you a quick question, Jonathan?
Yes, sir.
It pertains to the agenda.
Oh, okay.
Take a break.
Have a problem?
I thought you had a question. You can turn it off again.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Effingham County Board of Commissioners, regular meeting agenda, August 18th, 2026. The time is now 5:09 PM. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Floyd,
Here.
Commissioner Burdette,
Here.
Chairman Ron,
Here.
Commissioner Deloach,
Here.
Commissioner Helmley,
Here.
Commissioner Kiefer.
Here.
You have a quorum, sir. If everyone will be sure to pull in your mic and speak into your mic, please. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right. We have someone for invocation tonight, ma'am?
Our invitation tonight is coming from Commissioner Burdette.
Very good. Commissioner Burdette.
Stand, please. Heavenly Father, we come to you today in just in gratitude for our county, in gratitude for the days we have on this earth, Lord, in gratitude for all you do for us, and in gratitude for our salvation because of your sacrifice, Lord. Lord, I pray that what we do here and say here is glorifying to you in some way, that we take care of this county and our people in a way that you would see fit, Lord. Give us the knowledge and the wherewithal to do that, Lord. And I pray for the families that may be hurting or have things going on. Lord, it seems to be a season this time of year for a lot of people. And I pray that you be with them, you be with us, be with our families. Help us be a strong and prosperous county, Lord. We pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Burdette. Moving to agenda approval, consideration of resolution to approve the agenda. Madam Clerk, we have any changes tonight?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair and board members, we do. If you will go with me to page 2 of your agenda. Under the consent agenda, we have an addition of a resolution. Consideration to approve resolution number 026025, honoring the life of Mary Jane Holloway Hamilton. We also have under unfinished business number 2, as discussed earlier during the work session, this item is to be removed. This is the intergovernmental agreement between Effingham County and the city of Rincon regarding the right-of-way acquisition for the East-West Road project.
Okay.
Those are your changes, sir.
Also for, if I could make this change, for the consent agenda number 5, I'd like to pull that out for discussion.
Okay,
And if we could just, it's already part of number 8 on new business.
okay.
We could add that to that would be great.
So we can note that as 8B.
We're going to move 5
Or
from the
8A.
consent.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the noted changes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. All right, so we're going to move 5 to 8B. We need to discuss. Do we need to discuss the consent agenda one before we move to 8?
You're going to go through the consent agenda less number 5.
Okay, I'm talking about the order of when I get to 8.
Yes,
Okay, so consent agenda item will come before.
yes.
Got it. Okay. Very good. Okay. Now moving to the minutes. Consideration to approve the August 4th, 2026 regular meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 7, public comments. Comments shall pertain to agenda items only. Should you wish to make remarks, clearly state your full name into the microphone before commencing to speak. Item 8 is correspondence. The agenda packet for this meeting is posted on the county's website. Any additional documentation presented at the meeting shall be submitted to the clerk for receipt, recording, and distribution to the board. Moving to item 9 is our consent agenda. This section shall include all routine items, which there will be no discussion. Should a need arise for debate, the item can be moved to the appropriate area of the agenda. Item 1, consideration to ratify and affirm acceptance of the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program. Grant to update the countywide hazard mitigation plan. Item 2, consideration to ratify and affirm the permanent and temporary easement rights associated with Bryan County for the Regional Water Supply Project. Item 3, consideration to approve the Georgia Department of Transportation Local Administered Project Procurement Statement required for Effingham County's application to become a GDOT Certified Local Administrated Project Agency. Item 4, consideration to ratify and affirm the contract amendment number 1 with Legacy Water Group LLC for CMAR Phase 1 Effingham Regional Water Supply Facilities.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
6, we gotta do 6, right?
And item 6, consideration to approve resolution 026-025 honoring the life of Mary Jane Hollowell Hamilton. Thank you, Jamie.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed, motion carries. Moving into unfinished business. Item 1, consideration to approve the first reading to amend Article 3, Section 3.4, buffers of the Code of Ordinances of Effingham County, postponed from our August 4th, 2026 meeting at the request of staff.
Good evening, Akila Wright, Development Services. This item is a text amendment to Section 3.4 of the zoning ordinance, which regulates buffers. This amendment is, we're basically cleaning up a few issues staff has identified through administrating the ordinance. We're not changing the fundamental purpose of the buffer ordinance. We're changing what the use is or what's permitted, just cleaning it up. One of the first changes is adding definitions for terms that are already used throughout the ordinance but aren't currently defined, such as buffer, buffer area, undisturbed buffer, canopy tree, DBH, and director. We're also adding AR3 back into the buffer matrix. This district was inadvertently omitted. We're taking the existing fence and wall buffer reduction provision and moving it into the number encroachment standard so that it's clearer where and how the provision applies. Another change deals with enforcement. Right now, we don't have a clearly defined process for what happens when a required vegetative buffer doesn't achieve or maintain the required standards. So this amendment creates a written enforcement process, including a 90-day cure period, and establishes a civil penalty of not less than $500 per day for a continuing violation. We've also cleaned up the interstate frontage exemption. The amendment makes it clear that the exemption only applies to the property line that actually fronts the interstate. It also provides I-1, LI, and HI properties with an alternative 15-foot landscape strip along the interstate frontage. And then we've also added a right-of-way portion. So the other major component is that we've identified an issue where the county could acquire right-of-way from an existing property, and by doing that, reduce the amount of land available for that property to maintain its required buffer. Under the current ordinance, where it isn't defined, it's an administrative process for handling that situation, rather than making the property owner seek a variance because of land acquired by the county. This amendment creates an objective formula that adjusts the required buffer based on the amount of parcel depth remaining after the acquisition. We've also built limits into the adjustment. The resulting buffer cannot be reduced below 15 feet, and the reduction cannot exceed 50% of the original required buffer. Again, there is a formula incorporated into the ordinance that will help us with this provision. The section also addresses temporary construction easements. If the county disturbs an existing required buffer while completing a public project, the county would document the existing condition beforehand, restore the disturbed area to a functionally equivalent condition afterward, including the required tree replacement. So in closing, overall, the goal of this amendment is to make Section 3.4 more clear, more predictable, and both for applicants, property owners, and staff. It reduces areas where we currently have to make discretionary interpretation, gives us clear enforcement tools, corrects gaps in the existing ordinance, and creates a fair and consistent process when county right-of-way projects are affected, affects the right-of-way buffers. It does not increase density, increase development intensity, or change the underlying purpose of our buffer requirements. Staff finds that the amendment is consistent with the comprehensive plan, particularly as it relates to protecting natural resources, maintaining compatibility between differing land uses, and providing a more predictable development process. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Very good. I don't. Good work. Anyone else?
Sounds like a lot of this is getting cleaned up.
I don't have any questions.
Very good. I'll entertain a motion then.
I'll make a motion to approve as read.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. None opposed, motion carries. Moving into new business. Item number 1, consideration to approve proclamations designating August 22nd, 2026 as Effingham Champions Day.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we're going to attempt to do this as orderly as possible. We have quite the group of young people outside. We are requesting the approval of 3 proclamations recognizing championship status for the softball 10 and under, for track state finalists, for recreation 8 and under softball. First, we're going to have our 8 and under. Tonight we have with us Isla Joe Allen, Oliver Archer, Berkeley Graham, Baxley Graham, Piper Hester, Hayden Hurst, Ari Kessler, Pearl Parsons, Emery Phillips, Ella Settles, Emery Wiley, and Tegan Zettler. Staff is requesting approval of the proclamation honoring these young people.
Very good. Good work, ladies.
So if you can approve all 3 at once.
Sure.
All right.
We can do that.
I'll make a motion to approve all 3 proclamations together.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries.
Okay, picture time.
While we're getting organized with pictures, can I have some information about your stats and so forth? Tell us a little background.
Well, we went, took second in district, ended up taking first and second to state, and went to state and dominated.
All right.
Congratulations.
All right.
Uniforms look good too.
Yeah, that's 9 a.m. Yes.
That mark, they need to come in somewhere.
Yeah, it could be the same meeting.
Where do I need to do 3?
3
Yeah,
rows.
it's some Christmas thing, yeah. I don't know what it is. It's Neil probably screwed
Make a
up.
3rd row.
We're letting you to do it. We'll let y'all see this one.
Disappearing.
Okay, y'all can stay put. Next group's coming in. Next group is your 10 and under. They are the softball state champions. Won the championship in Whitfield County on July 23rd at a tournament July 23rd through the 25th. Incoming, we have Lackland Bowen. Lackland Bowen, Marin Brooks, Sutton Chapman, Finley Davis, Kylie Davis, Olivia Eland, McKinley Johnson, Tristan Johnson, Emma Lambert, Rose McIntyre, Macklin Savar, Kayla Stubbs, Avery Wiley, and Rylan Wilkins.
All right, coaches, coaches, I asked the last group, you gotta give us some stats now on how you got the state.
Yeah, I don't know. We outscored our opponents 43-1 at state.
Okay.
All right, that's good.
It was live pitch, so a little bit different animal. Girls just worked.
All right, let's go.
Good job, ladies.
Congratulations.
Now, talk about dominating.
Good job, girls. Represent.
Good job.
Good job, girls. Congrats.
I gotta see the ring now. Show them in the picture.
Hey, rings out. Do we need to get some in, Mark?
Gotta show the ring. Yes, they did. So, I have my shining moment. Congratulations.
One more.
At least I have one.
You need that in baseball, you know, right? The other teams are asking what
Most of those probably play track balls.
Last but not least, small group. But these are your GRPA state track finalists. Aubrey Knight, Tristan Coleman, Jason Holmes, Joshua Reason, Grayson Wallace. Aubrey is your 12U girls triple jump fifth place. Tristan is your 50-foot meter dash second place and 100 meter dash sixth place. Jason is your 8U boys long jump fifth place. And Joshua Reason is your 14U boys triple jump fifth place. Grayson Wallace is your 10U boys shot put second place.
Righty. Very good. Thank you, Stephanie. Ms. Bassett, I hear you want to have an election. Item 2, consideration to approve an intergovernmental agreement between the Effingham County Board of Commissioners, the Effingham County Board of Elections and Registration, and the City of Springfield to conduct the city's November 3rd, 2026 municipal election.
Good afternoon. Danielle Carver, Director of Procurement and Contract Services. I'm helping Miss Laura Bassett here. So I just wanted to say that the county's conducted elections for Springfield in the past, and this agreement allows voters to cast their ballots in one location with both county and city items on the same ballot. So Springfield will contribute towards the cost of conducting the elections, so staff recommends alternative 1.
Good, thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve alternative 1.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 3 is first reading, consideration to approve to amend Chapter 14, Buildings and Building Regulations, Article 2, Construction Codes at Effingham County Code of Ordinances.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Josh Moody, Chief Building Official. Every 6 years, Georgia adopts the latest and greatest codes. When they do that, DCA amends Chapter 1 from adopting it and gives local legislation that opportunity. So instead of rewriting Chapter 1, we're just requesting to adopt it in its entirety. It's the administrative chapter for permitting and the requirements of permitting, validation of permits, and all the fun stuff.
Very good. No questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 4, consideration to approve modification number 1 to the professional services agreement with Moffitt and Nickel for construction administration, inspection, testing, and project closeout services associated with the Sand Hill Road and Blue Jay Road Roundabout project.
Yeah, Jonathan Holm, county engineer. This proposal is for construction management for Blue Jay Sand Hill Roundabout. It's with Moffitt Nickel. They are the design engineer for the roundabout. Total proposal is in the sum of an additional $219,225,000. These construction management services would include, monitoring the construction site, and it also have our own geotechnical to verify the construction there. So pretty typical. It's actually a little bit less than is to be expected based off of, usually it's around 7% for the construction management. This is slightly under that. So with that, staff is recommending alternative 1.
What's the timeline? When will they get started, we think, and
Yeah,
finish?
so we've gotten all the options agreed to with Blue Jay Sandhill as far as the right-of-way acquisition. We're waiting on one parcel to clean up some of the legal. We're waiting on the mortgage company to get with us. But anyway, as soon as that's complete, we'll be able to put it out to bid, hopefully
This
within
year?
the next month or
Okay.
2. Yeah, it just depends on us getting through the final parcel. So hopefully it'll just be a year after that. So maybe by the end of next year would be a good estimate to have the roundabout complete.
All right. No questions, I'll make a motion we approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 5, consideration to approve task order number 4B under Master Services Contract number 23 RFQU-061 with Thomas & Hutton for construction engineering inspection services on 5 additional road projects.
Yep, so this one is similar to the last one, except for it's for It's for the Blue Jay widening project with the roundabout at McCall and Blue Jay. It's also Goshen widening. We broke that one out into phase 1 and phase 2. And also State Route 30 and Midland roundabout. It also included the Blue Jay and Effingham Parkway modifications as well, very minor. Overall, why Thompson Hutton's being recommended is we utilize them for a number of our resurfacing packages already, and so they're going to have the staff here to do it. And Pond, who is the design engineers, they do not offer the construction management services. So this just made a lot of sense. And I didn't mention on the last one, it does apply to the last one and this one as well. These are just authorizations of the total that they can spend. It's based off of time and material.
Not to exceed on
Not to
T&E.
exceed.
Gotcha.
That's right. It's time and material, so it's just an estimate. It will probably come in less than that.
You answered my question already.
I would
Thank
hope.
you.
But this applies for this one and the one that y'all just approved. And so with that, staff is recommending approval.
Good.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 6, consideration to approve to ratify and affirm the execution of loan documents related to Georgia Environmental Finance Authority, loan GFAA PP 001A.
Good afternoon, Mark Barnes, Finance Director. This is similar to what came through a few months ago when the first tranche of funding from GFA came through. This is for the drinking water plant. And this piece here represents the second segment of that overall funding for that project. We're requesting ratification and approval of the loan executing agreements. Staff recommends alternative 1 approval.
And I know y'all will keep up with this, and this could be normal GFA language. I just noticed it was a 21-day notice on the draw and 1 draw per month, but I'm sure y'all will keep up with it.
We are. We're actually having to coordinate that because how the draws work with potentially three contractors at once drawing. So that is, the timing is the issue to work on that.
Yeah.
It's going to be tight every month.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 7, to consideration to approve resolution 026-024 to amend the fiscal year 2027 budget.
Yes, sir. This is a relatively small amendment. It moves funding around from a couple of line items. It breaks out the events budget, which has been previously lumped in with the overall operating budget of the Recreation Department. It just breaks it out to its own line, and then it reorganizes some of the funding for the Health Department, Building Design and Engineering. Staff recommends alternative 1.
No questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve alternative 1.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Moving to, we moved item 5 from consent to the new business. That's consideration to approve amendment number 1 to the Allbeck Group LLC proposal for program management services and address the continuation of professional program management services for vertical construction.
Yes, sir. The original agreement established the scope of services but did not specify a contract term. Amendment number 1 formally confirms that the agreement has remained in effect through August 31st, 2026, and ratifies that the services provided during that period. So the amendment also establishes August the 31st, 2026 as the expiration date of the current agreement, so allowing for a new professional service agreement to take effect.
Which would be the next item on the agenda.
Right. Mr. Chairman, on this particular item, I had a constituent reach out to me. I believe he's here tonight. If you'd allow a little latitude.
Sure.
I guess the biggest thing that sticks out is we have a board member on the IDA that owns this particular company. So if we get some explanation, ask a couple of questions, would be fine, if that's okay with you guys. Just to get some clarification on that, because we do want to be transparent. And that did stick out to me as soon as it was pointed out, so.
Yeah, and I could address that. So as it goes with the IDA, unlike a department of the county, the board itself does not have any direct funding responsibility for it. You are essentially obligated by the Constitution to levy 2 mills on their behalf. So that is not something that you all can control. So there's no conflict in control between anything financial with regards to the IDA and its funding and the county. The only responsibility that you all have really related to the IDA is the appointment of 5 of their 8 board members. So, I mean, with that, there's no ability to have a conflict simply on a financial basis, simply because the funding is required under state law. That is levied via the 2 mills, is required under state constitution.
Could he ask a question?
Yeah, come on up. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Austin Williams. The issue to me is that a man that sits on the IDA, appointed by this commission, is directly involved in projects being brought, and now he stands to gain personally, financially, from his position on the IDA. At a minimum, that is a conflict of interest, if not worse. If you are in a position to bring business in, and those decisions are made based on what's good for your Albeck LLC, Slade Helmy is the owner of that LLC, and he's done business with the county before. I have a contract right here from 2023. He is personally benefiting from things that he has the ability to steer while he's in that position. Does that seem appropriate to anyone else? You can recommend a project and then personally, financially benefit from it after the fact?
I think that's where there's some confusion. The IDA does not recommend any of the projects that he's associated with.
He's not involved at all?
No. The only projects that he is associated with the county are the construction program management, what we call vertical projects, which are county buildings that we are essentially in the process of building or renovating, but nothing to do with economic development.
So this would be,
I'll give you an example.
this office here would have been one, or building?
This is a 3-year contract.
Yeah.
Right.
From 26 to 29, all vertical buildings. That's a 3-year contract that he is benefiting from. It's a conflict that he works for the county, right? He's supposed to be doing what's in the best interest of the people of this county.
Yeah, they're not.
And then,
The IDA is not paid, just so you know.
is it a position? If you're a volunteer fireman, you can start fires and then go put it, you know what I'm saying? Like there's.
No, that's illegal.
Yeah, correct. Correct. There's a thing where your involvement in steering things, whether you're paid for it or not, you're supposed to be looking out for the best interest of the people. Yeah. And if what comes to you because of choices you're making in one capacity affect your other capacity, that's a conflict of interest.
Does the
Is it
conflict of
not?
interest, and Lee, maybe you can answer this for me. The conflict of interest, does that need to generate from the person themselves?
Yeah, I don't think there's a conflict here with the Board of Commissioners.
Just in general terms, period, so.
I'm not sure what you're asking.
If someone were to have a conflict, just say this is legitimate, a legitimate conflict of interest, would the body that they represent bring that up, or would the person need to bring that forward to the body?
It could be either one.
Okay.
And it all depends. I mean, there are clear violations when you have a conflict of interest, and then there are those that, there's a lot of gray area. Someone may feel they do, and some may feel they don't.
Situation by situation.
Yeah.
Understood. Sorry, sir.
That's okay. No, you're asking a question. So, to me and to others, this looks like someone in a position of authority in steering and managing the county is personally benefiting from decisions that they may have known about ahead of time or may have had a decision in. Do you understand where the concern is coming from?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of issues with transparency in our minds here recently, and when stuff like this pops up, it just feels like a continuation of other times where people feel like there's not been transparency.
Sure.
We
Do
went
we-
through the same
I was gonna-
process that we always go through whenever we choose these
Well, this is the
contractors.
professional services, and this
Yeah.
is one of the things I spoke with Commissioner Hunley about was we do this through two ways. One, professional services, you go for the best experience that we have, not necessarily the lowest bid. But what we do which we are going to do when we re-up the definite delivery contracts for our professional services, is we're going to include program management for vertical construction in there as well. So we'll have multiple entities to choose from rather than an individual contract. And just so you know what essentially it is, Slade Helmy, but also David Smith, who is the former head of the construction management department at Georgia Southern. What they do is we'll get the architecture design, and prior to it going out to construction, they will then review it for recommendations for changing. Maybe some things are related, removing ambiguities in that, or there may be some value engineering that they can recommend in that. And then once the contract is awarded, they're the ones who actually walk through it with the actual construction firm to answer any questions to make sure this thing runs smoothly, with the main purpose here is reducing change orders.
So if I can ask a question about your statement. So in this instance, there are times where there are bids and there are not bids, and this was a no bid contract, is that correct?
This is a professional services contract, so we do not, this is an extension of an existing contract, so it was not rebid. That's correct.
But there's no,
So it was not bid, and it's a LLC owned by someone who is a member of Effingham County the industrial board, yes?
The Industrial Development Authority?
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Sorry,
But
I'm
he-
not,
but he
public
does-
speaking is not my thing, but what you're saying is he has a contract, and
he's-
it wasn't,
he's-
and it was
it's
no.
on
it
call
was no
though,
bid.
right? It's not like,
On
we don't
call.
have a final,
No,
just say
it's
$10,000,
hourly
for
on
example.
call.
And we have multiple companies within this realm. I mean, it's not just this one company.
This is the one that stands out to me as someone who stands to benefit from knowledge, from choices they may or may not make or know about ahead of time, right?
And as the
And-
county
and it
manager
wasn't
pointed
just-
out, this is not economic development. This is county projects. This is not IDA projects.
Right, and I'm a concerned Effingham County citizen asking a question about a thing that's on this agenda.
Right, if it was an
Yeah,
IDA.
we're clear on that.
If it was an IDA project, I would have concerns, but it's not an IDA project.
So in other words, what he votes on, and I'm getting clear to me too, because you brought up a good point. I could not deny that point, and I believe we should be transparent. If he were giving us advice or being a consultant based on something they had approved, it was an IDA project, that would totally be, he had influence. He has no influence on whether we build a building for us. He has no influence on anything the county does as a board at all.
But
even though-
he's appointed, all the IDA
He is
members are
but
appointed
he's
by y'all.
But he's
All
not
of you.
appointed to do this. This is his business.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm the only one who doesn't appoint, so.
What's that?
I don't appoint anyone.
All-
Your commissioners in the cities, all
Right.
appointees, yes.
Okay,
So
listen,
So if he did do that, I would be, like you said, I'd be extremely concerned.
I still
And
am,
I-
and I know a lot of people are. So basically what this looks like is a no bid contract to an LLC that's owned by a person who works for the county.
So where's
Who's
the
doing work for,
impropriety?
who's getting paid to work for the county. And the last contract I have is billed at $200 an hour.
Which is not uncommon for that kind of work.
It's consulting? It really doesn't say.
It's what I just explained they're doing.
Okay,
Project management.
okay.
It's the deep.
So basically, they're going in and reading the scope of work, sort of, to a degree.
Correct, and then
Getting
they
the
meet.
ambiguity out of there, making sure everything kind of falls in a time scale. So they speak the language that you don't speak or we speak, and
So they're
kind of put
consultant.
it, yeah,
That's
just
right.
putting it together.
Yeah.
And maybe we should look at different people next time.
Well, I mean,
Maybe that-
it's
Well,
open
I-
for anybody to put in, correct? I mean,
Well, but here's
He
what
said
we
there
want
was
to
no
do.
bid.
Here's what we want to do is, we want to, and again, after my conversation with the commissioner, we want to include this when we redo the indefinite delivery contracts as a scope. So if someone else wants to put in, they can. Like I said,
they still can
there's-
now, correct?
What?
I mean, nothing would keep anybody from not doing it right now, correct? 'Cause we
Correct,
have-
but
if we have
they would have to, we would, the reason we do the indefinite delivery system is we just basically call everybody who's interested in any of these scopes that we're doing, and then we get all their qualifications and we approve a block of them to do all these different responsibilities. One of them in the next scope of that agreement will be vertical construction management.
But this one
So
is
we
for
will
the,
have an option to not simply use this particular contractor, but also have other contractors as well. We have not done that traditionally in the past, but we have with other scopes like architecture in general, like engineering services for water and sewer, like surveying, that sort of things. We can add this to that indefinite delivery list. And then we would have potentially, if an additional application came in, we would have we would have more than one to choose from.
but you are getting ready to give them a contract for the
one
next
second.
3 years, correct?
Well,
Yeah, but
That's
it-
what
but
we're
it's
getting ready to vote on,
hourly.
isn't it?
But the whole thing, it's hourly, so we're not forced to use them. It's not an exclusive agreement. So if we had others to choose from, we can then go down that path.
Could we table this, cut this back to a year so we have continuity with it?
Well,
and
what I
then
think we could do is we
look
could
for different solutions, and he may be the best solution, but at least have that opportunity to look for other solutions.
That's something, what I would recommend, so we don't have a disruption in services,
Exactly.
right?
'Cause
Because we've got existing
I don't want to get
projects
us to
out
where we
there.
don't have that service at
is-
all. That's
Yeah, and I
bad.
wouldn't either. I'm
But to
here
your
asking
point,
questions.
then we're opening up for other people to be able to apply to that. And he may be the cheapest and the best. I don't, but it's a good point.
And so one thing I can do is kind of give us a kind of a cushion for the process, because I know we're putting that out at the end of the year, is to say something like the end of February or something to that effect. And then from there on out, their contract, if they are approved as a vendor under the indefinite delivery agreements that we have, would then continue and move in parallel with all the other indefinite delivery contracts.
Okay.
So, and if anyone else puts in for the scope, they'd be able to do that as well.
Well, actually, what we're discussing right now is the delay, is what we moved from consent agenda, right?
Correct.
So,
What goes
so
along with it.
Technically.
actually, your point's still valid, but it's actually valid on the next item.
Right.
What
Yeah,
this
yeah,
one,
I may have
yeah,
been
no,
up
no,
here.
I'm not, I'm just saying, I'm trying to pull us back into where we are, and then the discussion will be on the next 3 years. Because this one is just establishes August 31st as the expiration date of the current agreement. And then that will allow for us to consider then the one about the next 3 years.
Correct.
So,
And
so I'm just sort of clearing that up for the moment. We're not actually gonna vote
Right.
right now on the next 3 years. We're just saying he's gonna go through August 31st, right?
But we will hear it
But
immediately after.
we're gonna turn,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
slide's
Yeah,
gonna
but
turn. and
it's
it
a
will be
separate
done.
But it
vote.
is, absolutely.
But it's a
Yep.
separate vote.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
All this is doing is saying the contract will end on August 31st.
Okay.
And then we're gonna look at
The next
what's gonna
item.
happen
Yes.
from September 1st on.
Understood.
Okay, so I'm just trying to get that in line for the moment.
I just
Yeah.
wanted, since that was in that category, bring it in with,
Okay.
together.
I just
so we-
wanna, I guess I wanna make sure what I'm voting
Yeah.
on too. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, so let's go ahead and entertain a motion on 5, that we move from our consent agenda.
So on 5, I make a motion to approve,
Okay.
so we can establish that ending date.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? None opposed, motion carries. Now we'll move into item 8. Consideration to approve a professional services agreement with Allbeck Group LLC for program management for vertical construction for the period of September 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029. Mr. Burdette, I'll let you open with discussion.
So for this, I would like to either if we can recommend a year and go with the year, or either table it and redo it for a year and then look at different options. So I don't know what would be more appropriate, a table and
I
then
would do it for a year, and then that gives time for us, that by the end of the year, we can just fold it into the indefinite delivery
Exactly.
on that process. And that way, for the existing projects, we don't have interruption of what we're doing here.
Right, I don't want to interrupt that, but definitely want to,
Well, can we say that that he will not be, he'll be allowed to finish the current projects, but will not be asked to do anything for the
But
future?
what if we start a project
20
before we award, but before we have an alternative? And so, that's my concern, is that we keep this process flowing, and that we have someone that we can rely on until a replacement comes in. That includes them, right? We're just talking about a replacement contract that will fall under our global indefinite delivery contract, which they more than likely will put a proposal in for.
Do we put a RFP out during that time frame?
We are. We're going to do. Our current goal is to do it by the end of the year, and it is because we're dealing with so many different specialties and levels of professional services. The review process does take a little bit longer. And so that's why I'm saying it'll probably be, first quarter of next year when we come back to you all with our recommendations.
Okay. That's next fiscal year?
Yeah, 2027.
July.
First quarter of 2020, calendar year 2027.
Okay.
In that case, would we need a year?
What?
In that case, would you need an entire year then?
Yeah, we're in our first quarter now.
Yeah, but.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just saying it gives you cushion. You can say,
What if you did it month to month to not exceed July?
well, this
2027?
can be canceled every 30, what was it?
30 days.
Okay, 30 days.
30 days notice.
At
It
any
can be
time.
canceled with 30 days
Okay.
notice by either party.
Very good.
no penalty.
So if everything comes in place with the establishment of that,
Like a year.
what'd you call it?
Indefinite delivery contract?
Indefinite,
Sometimes
yeah.
things move
Then we may end this earlier because he'll be on the other,
And that will
process.
take over,
and that
correct.
will take over.
He's just
Yes.
gonna
So a
quit the
little bit of
IDA.
continuity, but also establishing an endpoint.
Mhm.
Then we'll just put RFP out, see who comes.
What's that?
Then we put the RFP out, if all
His
that comes
company as
in.
well as other ones
Right.
can
That's right.
apply.
Others, then we have, we have multiple options at that time, so.
That's correct.
Or maybe nobody does, who knows?
Right.
You see. Very good. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
They may say to heck with it, we ain't got nobody.
All right. With,
It's always that chance.
yes, sir.
I do have a comment on this, if you
Mm-hmm.
don't mind. And I'm just gonna read off of my phone. Raymond Carver, I live in, Belmont Glen, Effingham County. So, under Georgia law and general conflict of interest rules, a member of the Effingham County Industrial Development Authority who owns a private business cannot use their official position or public authority resources to personally benefit their own business. Doing so can trigger serious ethics violations, common law conflicts of interest, or illegal self-dealing. No personal gain of public development authority members are prohibited from using their official status to secure unwarranted privileges, contracts, or financial advantages for themselves or their business organizations. If the IDA votes on a project, land acquisition, or contract that directly or indirectly involves a board member's private business, that member must completely recuse themselves, meaning they must step away from the discussions, leave the room, and abstain from voting. Failing to disclose a private financial interest or attempting to steer county development deals towards one's own commercial property or a company violates public trust and state accountability standards.
Okay. Now, here's where, this is going to be great education here, and we're going to have this at our meeting too, is the distinction between the IDA and the county and the demarcation point between the two. One's its own entity, one's its own entity. So if, for example, we're talking about our board member Slade Helmy here. If Slade were to do a project that the IDA initiated, then that would be a conflict of interest. Perceived conflict of interest is what you're going with right now. That would be a direct conflict of interest. So perception is what perception is. If he does work for the county as a board member on the IDA, it is not applying to what you're saying right there.
But it gives him all
Because
the
he's not
opportunities.
initiating any vote.
He's
that
not
would-
voting on the
In other
projects
words,
he's
if-
working on.
I'll give you an example, a library. The IDA is not gonna build a library. They're not gonna vote to build a library. They're not gonna do any library items. So he would not have any direct influence, no different than any voting constituent would have on this Board of Commissioners for approval of that capital project.
I believe,
Is he supposed to not do any work in the county at all, period?
no. However, his direct ties to this board and to planning gives him a perfect opportunity to use insider information to gain from it.
Would that be relevant to the cities as well? I mean, any government entity at all?
I mean,
What about the Board of Education?
ones that he's tied to, whatever he's tied to.
Okay.
Whatever insider information he's able to get his hands on and utilize to be able to forward his business, I think, yes, that is a personal interest. That
I
is,
agree with that, but what insider information are you speaking of?
I don't know personally.
Exactly.
I'm not behind doors.
That's
And
right.
again, it's-
However,
So
I
if
do
we
know how
thought that, we
relationships
would be
work.
doing something about it.
I think,
Excuse me?
We thought that we'd be doing something about it, but there's nothing been stated here today that's inappropriate. We've taken measures on what has been brought to light, and I want to bring things to light. But if this man hasn't done anything wrong, I don't want to accuse him of doing anything wrong unless you've got some evidence of that.
I'm not accusing
Okay,
anyone of anything.
so what we've done, we've lowered that contract in term, so we can take a look at doing different things. Maybe we should be doing different things, and maybe that's the path that we need. But I don't want to destroy this man's business unless we've got evidence of him doing something wrong. If he voted on a project, and then he was entitled to work on that project, that's one thing. But for him to be separated, I mean, once we appoint an IDA member,
They're on their own.
They're on their own.
We have no authority to
We
remove
have no
them.
authority. They're under constitutional authority to
Yeah.
the state. We couldn't do anything about it if we wanted to. We don't have that authority.
So if it was found out that he was using insider information to
Yeah, that's a
gain
whole nother world.
these situations,
Yeah.
then
That's an
there's
ethics.
absolutely
Yes,
nothing
sir.
that you would be able to do about it.
That's an
Yes.
ethics.
No,
yeah.
then you
That's
have,
illegal.
then you got state law that you just stated to go by.
And that's an
That-
ethics
that's a-
dealing, that's Attorney
huge.
General dealing, that's,
And he can
way
be
from there.
possibly removed, yes.
And that would, the government would have to remove him, if I'm not mistaken, on that
It would be the
board.
state.
Mr. Callahan, would you give him an example, some examples of the work he has done for this county that really is not tied into anything really that's not everything that he's done for the county has been county jobs.
That's correct. So
So
I'll
would
give
you
you,
give us some examples?
I'll give you two examples we're working on right now. One of them is the EMS station renovation in Rincon, right? So that was, we hired an outside firm, well, they're both the same, so I'll give you both, and the central school renovation in Springfield. In both of those cases, we hired an outside firm to do architecture design for those projects. Once that architectural design gets submitted and gets prepared for bid, those plans are then reviewed by David and Slade to determine whether or not there are some oversights in there that staff itself here does not have the authority to, does not have the skill to look over. We don't have architects or professional construction project managers on staff. So he reviews those for any sort of inconsistencies, any way that he can come up with a recommendation to value to engineer it, to save the county money prior to it going out to bid. Once it goes out to bid, that firm becomes our representative in the field. They work in conjunction with some of our managers here, where they have the expertise to review the entire construction projects and some recommendations made by the architects to make sure that they're in the best interest of the county. And again, one of the biggest goals here, the big reason we chose to do this, and we don't only do it with vertical construction, we also do it with roads, is to reduce the amount of change orders that we have. So if we can find those imperfections or those inconsistencies or items that are that should be in the plans that aren't in the plans, before it goes out to bid, you eliminate a change order. And if a decision has to be made in the field, it's best to have an expert there who is looking on behalf of the client to save the client money to come up with a field decision that is made on site that's in our best interest. So those are the expertise that we provided. And as I mentioned, both of them have a tremendous amount of expertise in these areas. One of them in academia, and then the other in field experience dealing with multi-million-dollar school construction projects in Chatham County as well. And so it's a value to the county. It's here to essentially save the county money. And that's why we chose to go down this route, because we felt that we were having too many change orders or too many field changes in our contracts that were costing us money. And if anyone who attends these meetings knows that change orders are not very popular with this board, particularly one or two members. And so we want to make sure that we eliminate them as best we can. So that's the level of service that we're providing. That they are providing to us, and again, it is a tremendous value to the county and I believe the taxpayers. Yes.
Also mentioned, and it's one example that I particularly know of at the central school when we were about to spend a lot of money on a roof.
Oh yeah, that's a perfect
That's
example.
one perfect example that
where the scope of the project under design was to include the replacement of the entire roof. Because of the experience of this individual, they knew who did the old roof and knew that the roof, even though we've had the building for 10 years, was still under warranty. And he got because he knew who to contact, they did the inspection. We did the warranty repairs, and we were able to keep the existing roof and continue the warranty now under our name rather than the school board's name, which, I mean, I don't know if you know how many buildings are out there, but that is a substantial amount of savings, just that one decision provided
And
us.
just to be clear, we didn't lose the warranty slip. The school was deeded to the
It
county.
was a
at
previous
some point.
owner.
So-
We had it transferred from the previous owner, and because of the experience that the person had on large projects like this. So that's just kind of one or two examples of what they do, but it is a valuable service provided to the county.
And I'll say, when I make these decisions, now, obviously, there can't be a conflict, but assuming, and this one does not have a conflict, I can assure you, that's what I base my decision on, the history. I get with staff, how have they been in the past? And I hear those examples. That's where my decision comes from.
And that's one of the reasons why we started hiring our own engineering staff. We needed somebody in the field that speaks engineering. We don't have any engineers up here. So if we're gonna spend taxpayer money, I wanna make sure they're doing it right. And I don't wanna depend on just the person providing the service. I need checks and balances to be able to go out there and say, hey, are you doing this right?
Yeah.
And make sure they're doing it right and can report back to us with an expert opinion, other than the person providing the service.
Okay, I'm going to move this forward. I think we've offered a great compromise in what we're doing here today. We've heard you all, and we'll move forward with that. With that, I'm going to entertain a motion.
Thank you.
Where did we arrive?
I know, yeah, that's.
We
Somebody
decided
would let someone else
to, I
localize
believe,
it.
Tim, and correct me if I'm wrong here, to do the, instead of doing the 3/20/29, we're going to do to June 30th, 2027. Is that
Fine.
correct?
Is that fine?
Which would be the 1 year.
Right.
And we have the cancellation already there, so if the RFP comes out sooner, we get more proposals.
We got
We
cancellation
can pick and
clause.
choose whomever and probably have that same person on this same type of contract as well. So
So moved.
So you're
didn't make a
looking
motion.
at, you're looking at September 1st of 2026 to June 1st of
June
2000.
30th of 2027.
2027.
30th.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Repeat it for clarity, please.
Who's making the motion?
I don't know.
I make a motion that we approve the contract through June 30. Is that correct?
That's-
June 30, 2027.
With the addition that we can void that 30 days
I think
prior?
that's
in there
already
already.
in the contract.
Yeah, it's already in
They're
there.
That's already
already,
in there.
okay.
Whoops, Stephanie's.
All right, so
Oh.
let's make a formal motion here. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
With the addition of whatever you just said, Ms. Beth, please repeat that.
No, they said I didn't have to because it was already in
It's
there,
already
that
in the
there's a
contract.
30-day,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
there's a 30-day.
So the motion on the floor presently is to extend this contract from September 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027.
Correct.
Correct?
Yes.
I have a motion on the floor from
Second.
Commissioner Burdette. Have a second from Commissioner Floyd. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Motion carries. All right. Do we want to, let's take a break real quick. We got to move into our planning agenda. Let's take 5 minutes, reconvene here. It's actually 6:15. A little worried the last one's going to take a
stir something up, but they just, what she was griping about, well, you know, we have to pay, and then all these guys.
I'm going to call us back to order. Now moving to our planning board session. Item 1, it's a public hearing. Consideration to approve an application by Melissa Reagan for conditional use to allow for an agritourism business in AR1 located at 580 Ralph Ron Road, map number 411, parcel number 24 in the 4th District.
Good evening, how are y'all?
Oh.
I'm Melissa Reagan.
You're getting ahead of us a little bit.
Sorry, oh, do I need to sit back down?
Akila's
Oh,
coming
sorry.
up. Yeah, you can stay up here. Thought we had a new employee for a minute. So.
Good evening, oh, I'm sorry. Good evening, Mr. Chair and members of the board, Akila Wright, Development Services. So we have a conditional use request for agritourism at 580 Ralph Ron Road. The property is zoned AR1 with the AR future land use designation. The surrounding zoning is AR with AR1 in the north and west, AR2 to the east, and R1 to the south. This is an existing event rather than an entirely new operation. The applicant has received an assemblage permit for the event every year since 2019. The event operates on Saturdays and Sundays during October for a total of 10 days per year, and the applicant provides approximately 300 on-site parking spaces. One of the main considerations for staff is the limited duration of use. This is not a year-round commercial operation. Because the event only occurs 10 days per year, potential traffic, parking, and noise impacts are limited in frequency and duration. The property is also generally compatible with the agricultural character of the surrounding area. The one area staff paid particular attention to is the R1 zoning along the southern property line. Staff recommends making sure the parking areas, event activities, lighting, and any sound sources are appropriately located in relation to the residential area. From a traffic standpoint, approximately 300 spaces are available on site. Staff recommends ensuring the internal circulation is sufficient, which we have confirmed through the site plan provided. Given the established operating history, the limited 10-day annual schedule, and the amount of on-site parking available, staff does not anticipate significant impacts provided those considerations are addressed. Staff supports approval of the subject to conditions addressing hours, operation, parking, and traffic circulation, all things that we did discuss during our pre-application meeting. Thank you.
Good, thank you, ma'am. All right, Melissa, you're up.
Sorry about that, hi, how are y'all doing?
Doing good.
This is actually a little bit of an older photo. We have additional parking to the right of number 7. All those trees are cut down. But yeah, everything pretty much looks the same in the photo.
Very good. What was a corn cannon?
Potato gun
Okay.
on steroids,
That's kind of
maybe?
what I thought it was.
Yeah, so that was something we introduced a couple years ago.
Gotcha.
We just put little corn cobs in them. The kids love them, shoot them at tires.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Anything? I entertain a motion.
This is a wonderful event. I'm glad you're doing it. I know a lot of people look forward to it.
Thank
So,
you, Ms. Beth. I
I make a
appreciate that.
motion, we approve.
Well, it's a public, is this a public hearing?
Oh, it's a public hearing. I'm sorry. Yep,
Yes,
my bad.
you're exactly right.
Jumped the gun.
Wanna stay-
Sorry.
Yep. Appreciate you keeping us on
Thank you.
track.
Step away.
I have one question, because I know you've, and I don't know which one can answer. You have to come every year for assemblage?
I was just
Does
about
this
to
stop
ask.
that?
In my opinion, I think I've talked to Mr. Callahan.
I hope,
at
because I mean,
length.
it's a pain for you to have to come up.
I mean, I enjoy y'all's company, but you know, it would be nice if I didn't have to do this
I
every
know,
year. So
that's-
I think this would establish like a
That's what
a
I'm
business
hoping.
like an agritourism business license.
I think Akila can speak to it, just to confirm.
Probably wouldn't, just.
Akila Wright, Development Services, yes, this is conditional use, so she will not have to come back.
And I will say that Ms. Reagan, she is the genesis of creating the agritourism ordinance, and so we're happy to see her rezone into it. So,
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else here for? Please come forward. Anyone here opposed? Please come forward. See none, close the public hearing, and now, Ms. Beth, you have your motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the
Second.
conditional use.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 2 is the second reading. Consideration to approve the second reading for an application by Melissa Reagan for conditional use to allow for an agritourism business in AR1 located at 580 Ralph Ron Road, map number 411, parcel number 24 in the 4th District. Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 3, public hearing. Consideration to approve an application by Normal Life of Georgia as agent for Midtown Georgia for conditional use to allow for a group home in AR1 located at 208 Lord Effingham Drive, map number 465H, parcel number 6B in the 2nd District.
Good evening, Aquila Wright Development Services. This is conditional use request for congregate living services at 208 Lord Effingham Drive. I'd like to make a note of the definition of congregate living services. It refers to supportive shared living arrangements where individuals reside in a group setting and receive assistance with daily living activities. These services are typically provided in facilities like assisted living homes, residential care facilities, or group homes, and that's where that use came from in the title. So the property is approximately 0.3 acres and is zoned AR1. The surrounding area is residential with AR1 zoning to the north, south, and east, and R1 zoning to the west. The applicant is proposing a group home for no more than 3 residents. There will be support staff on site 24 hours a day. The residents will not have personal vehicles, and the applicant has indicated that the only vehicle associated with the use will be one company-owned 15-passenger van. From a planning and zoning standpoint, staff looked at the scale of the proposed use, compatibility with the surrounding residential area, infrastructure, and potential traffic and parking impacts. With only 3 residents, the scale and intensity of the use are compatible to a single-family household. The property is also served by public water and sewer, so there are no infrastructure extensions associated with the request. Traffic and parking impacts are also expected to be minimal because residents will not have individual vehicles. Overall, staff does not anticipate the proposed use creating impacts that would be inconsistent with the surrounding residential area. Staff supports the approval of this project. Are there any questions from the board?
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. The applicant is like to come forward, please.
I'm Jennifer Manaloni.
Here, come on up. State your name for the record, please.
Jennifer Mataloni. I'm the Regional Director for Normal Life of Georgia. So I cover Savannah and Augusta. So we're expanding into the area. Like I said, the home is just for 3 individuals, developmental disabilities, meaning autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, those type of deficits. So they get support in their daily living of activities. It's not a, what you would call a halfway house or anything of that nature. We don't expect those kind of individuals in our care, in our needs. We don't service them typically. I oversee 25 homes in the area between down through Waycross and Douglas, all the way up through Augusta. So, we're just here today asking that we be able to continue to provide services for the client, those population here within Effingham County. I actually have one of the clients who's going to be residing in the other home that we have on the board, who's actually from the Rincon area. So I'm excited that we can hopefully participate, be able to support people locally. We have, I know the navigators are here in the community, and as they continue to age, they may need support in those kind of residential settings as well. So it's one of the reasons we came here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is this a for-profit company?
It is a.
It is. It's an
Yes.
LLC.
I had to think about it for a minute, yes. I've worked in so many different avenues.
Yes.
How do you decide where, this can go in any neighborhood?
Yes, we have them in all kinds of neighborhoods. We try to stay away from HOAs, honestly. They tend to give us a little bit more, because we may need to put a ramp on a house. That's not these needs, but in other locations I've had that run into. We do go through fire safety, so there's already been fire inspections on the home. There's smoke detectors and along with carbon monoxide detectors, fire extinguishers. Staff are trained on all of that, and the staffing is awake 24 hours a day.
And it's basically renting a room to each individual?
They do pay a rental fee, yes. So they are leasing their room, their community space, but we also provide full support to them.
Is this like a medical, is it a registered medical thing, or?
It's through Medicaid. We do get a daily rate for supporting them and their needs. Their needs could be anywhere from, needing to help with bathing and showering to administering medication, learning to cook, participating in activities in the community. We do engage in all the community activities. All of my homes, new homes, go through a scavenger hunt where they learn where the local restaurants are, where the coffee shops are, where to go to get their hair cut, all within the community. So we're bringing them back into,
Who owns the home?
So it is the management company, Tri-County.
So they just go and find a property?
Collectively, we find the
and
property,
purchase
yes.
houses and then
And they
place
lease them to
people.
us as Normal Life of Georgia.
So they already own these homes?
Correct.
Okay,
What do they currently do with them?
They purchased them for me,
If they went ahead and purchased them for you with the assumption?
with the
they're-
intention, yes.
To
What happens
expand
if you
into this
don't?
area?
Correct.
What happens if you don't get to do
Then
this?
we've invested a lot of money and we're in a lease that we are tied into. It's just unfortunately the process we have to go through to be able to come here. I had to go through inspection, so we have to be inspected by DBHDD, which is the Department of Behavioral Health. And they come out and they inspect to make sure we have all of the needs that we have, safety rails in the bathroom, like I said, fire extinguishers, first aid kits. They monitor all of our training and what we put in, the houses. We have to ask for permission to put those clients in that house so that we're all matched well and that we're prepared to support them at their level of needs.
That was my question. I'm assuming since Medicaid is paying,
Yes,
it has to go through some kind of
yes, the
state or federal
Department of
regulation.
Behavioral Health,
Right,
yes.
okay. And Midtown is out of Valdosta? Is that-
Yes, sir.
Okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
And how many facilities do you have locally here?
So we're proposing for the two right here in Effingham County.
Okay, just say within a 100-mile radius, how many do you have?
Oh, personally, we have 10.
10? Okay. Very good. Anyone in our neighboring county, Chatham County, or,
I have two in Chatham and one in Bryan.
okay, and be more specific in Chatham?
Um,
Pooler, Garden City, Port Wentworth?
They're both considered Savannah.
Okay.
One is down, maybe more like Durain, near Durain.
Durain Avenue? Mhm.
Yeah, and the other is what's next door to, I think it's Georgetown. I'm still
Okay.
learning the areas.
Yeah. Understood. So
And then I have one in Bryan County, so
go down
Richmond,
White Bluff area.
right into Richmond.
I'm sorry, not White Bluff,
Or
Kings
Bryan,
Avenue.
yeah, Bryan County and Richmond Hills.
Okay.
And they may have asked this, is there some kind of certification that you have to get from the state to operate these homes?
So
or
yes,
is that?
they come in, they do an initial inspection, which was already completed to submit for the business license.
Okay, and then how often is that inspection then?
So they actually inspect every time I bring a new client into the home, and they actually have just started doing annual inspections. So it's initial, and then as we put the 3 different clients in the home, they'll get inspected. And then personally, I have a QA, quality assurance background, so I have high standards.
Well, good.
We make sure that
How do you
we're.
get your clients? Is it referred to you, or are you actively soliciting? or how does that-
Actually, surprisingly enough, I was in the office starting up this whole business out in the Savannah area, and next door was one of the young ladies that's going to move, hopefully move into the home if we're approved. Sometimes it's just organically as you cross paths. Sometimes it's through DBHDD. There are support coordinators that are within the community. They're not affiliated with my operation, they're separate. So they come out and they visit the clients. So once they get a good connection, they're then reaching out to me going, hey, do you have more rooms? Do you have more houses? When are you gonna open the next house? Both these houses
So
are
I'm going to
slated,
equate this kind of a senior assisted living to a degree. Would that be,
21 years and up.
okay? And what level of, because you have a nursing home, then you have assisted living, each require different things,
This
so.
is considered an independent residential alternative.
Mhm.
So and what it means is that we're giving them the opportunity to learn and grow and do as many things independently as possible,
Okay.
whether it be making their sandwich or learning to cook a simple meal or doing their own laundry, making their bed, running their vacuum, to get them to be as independent as possible.
Okay, and each client that you have certainly has individual needs.
Of course.
Or individual, trying to think of the right word, quirks, if you will.
They do, yes.
How do you,
We
how
all
do
do.
you vet that for safety for your neighbors around you, for example?
So many things go into the configuration, right? So each client is rated on a tier level. So they're assessed by DBHDD and all the powers that be there and give us an assessment level, gives us how many hours of staffing, what makes up our whole hours for the home. So if I have if I have 3 clients who are tier level 2, I'm only gonna get about 53 hours per client. That also means they don't have high needs. They're pretty much independent. They need reminders to wash their hands after using the bathroom, reminders to put soap in the washing machine when they do their laundry, can do a lot of things for themselves.
Right. So what disabilities, for example, would you be housing?
These particular homes, the clients I'm currently looking at to place in these homes are much more independent. They are able to, honestly, without a lot of interaction, you wouldn't even know that they have a disability.
Okay.
They're able to shower themselves, take care of themselves, call 911 if they had to, at least to get somebody to respond, even if they couldn't. You know, we work on learning their address, their phone number, so they can be that independent.
Sure.
Sometimes things happen to us in those situations that maybe I've fallen and somebody has to bring me the phone.
Right.
So we work on all of those things. We do fire evacuation drills monthly so that they're prepared in every situation that we can possibly try and foresee.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else here for? Please come forward.
Hi, I'm Brooke Jarrett. So this is the first time that I'm hearing about this project, but I fully support it after hearing about it for the first time. It sounds like something that our communities are currently starved for, which is specific infrastructure to accommodate our vulnerable communities that are within our own larger community, such as disabled adults, people of color, or Hispanic, or Hispanic. Now I'm rambling. Anyways, there are a lot of vulnerable groups who make up subcultures in our own community, and I think that this project can only benefit all of us for it, and help people who otherwise could be ostracized from our community be more involved with their neighbors and make some genuine friendships, because that's something that I think we're starved for now. And I do believe that, and I hope that this is not out of turn, this sounds to me like it's in stark contrast with the data center project.
Okay,
which
we're gonna pause from any discussions. Anything outside of this, we've got your affirmation. I appreciate you. Thank you. We're gonna move forward now.
Okie dokie.
Thank you. Anyone else here for? Please come forward.
For?
Yes, sir.
For it?
For.
Or against?
For. Okay.
Hi, I am Emma Smith, and that is my daughter, Candace Wagner. She is one of the clients that is waiting anxiously to move into her home. We do live here. We have been residents here for 6 years, and she is desperate to not live under the wing of her parents, but to be a big girl and to live on her own, which she can never do totally on her own. She needs a watchful eye to keep her safe, yet she manages so much of her life. She's part of the Gateway Day program here, where she is thriving and learning skills and going out into community. She's part of the Navigators here in Effingham, and is just someone full of life and independence in her way. And it is the safest way she can have independence, is to be in a group home setting. And what a joy for me to think of her being this close to us. She has been in the Savannah, one of the Savannah group homes before by her choice to be independent. But to have it here at home where I'm close by, and if the group, because they have to agree that they all want to go to an activity together, and if they don't and she does, Mom can come and take her along to Navigators. So it's an incredible opportunity for young adults. She is 42. She's a mix of a little person, a teenager, and a grown woman all in one body. And so it is my dream and hope that you will say yes to this. Thank you.
Anyone else here for? Please come forward. Anyone here opposed? Please come forward.
You go ahead.
Hello, I'm Miss Ruth Brown. I've lived in Westwood for 48 years. I am opposed because basically it's a business. I have compassion for the people, but I'm opposed because in your community, in your neighborhood, businesses should not be allowed. And we have enough trouble in Westwood. Who is going to make sure that the regulations and stuff is followed? We can't, I know I'm not getting off this particular thing, but we don't have an HOA, and we can't get any kind of service in Westwood. Westwood have gone completely down, and I'm just afraid, you know, for businesses to start coming in to our community.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Anyone else here? For? I'm sorry, against? Against, sorry.
I'm gonna try one
We'll
more
see,
time.
I'm gonna keep making you back up and go forward, how many times I can do that, so.
Hey, I'm Donald Brandt. I've lived in Westwood Heights for this October will be 50 years. And one thing I'd like to say about the letter that went to the neighboring houses around Westwood, in my humble opinion, every resident in Westwood should have received a letter, because guess what? It affects the whole subdivision. It doesn't just affect the one or two houses around the two houses, the 124 and 208 Lord Effingham, but 124 Westwood Drive also. It doesn't only affect those houses around, it affects us. But I'm opposed to it, just like Ms. Brown. I don't think we need to get businesses in our subdivisions. And gentlemen and ladies, I don't know how many of y'all live in a subdivision, but I'll just put it out there, and you don't have to answer, but you need to think about, do you want a group home in your subdivision, if you live in one? And I personally, I'm a compassionate person. I love everybody, but I don't think we need to have businesses in our community in Westwood Heights. All right?
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Anyone else here opposed, please come forward.
You got one more coming? You got one more coming?
Yeah, let me get one more. No, take your time.
Good evening. My name is Amber Waters. I have lived in Westwood going on 43 years since I was 6 years old. My husband's lived there almost 20 years, probably, roughly. I'm a very compassionate person as well, with the rest of them. Have relatives that have disabilities. Have no problem with that. I just think there is a more appropriate location for these homes. My mother and I both had to have home health a couple years ago before she passed away at the same time. I was half paralyzed after a procedure. She had to come home from the hospital with home health. Just having separate home health nurses come at the same time, along with our family vehicles there. The additional vehicles, having the vehicles, making sure they're off the side of the road so they're not impacting the traffic flow, because we're trying to be courteous to our neighbors and other people going up and down the road. I get it, they're gonna have one van, but you're also gonna have visitors coming into these people that live there. You're gonna have healthcare workers. You're not gonna have one healthcare worker that lives there 24/7, taking care of all three of these people and abandoning their family. I've worked in healthcare. You're not gonna have one person there. You're gonna have people coming and going. You're gonna have transportation coming and going. You're gonna have therapy workers coming and going. So think about all the extra traffic. You have extra traffic going in and out this neighborhood where there's children, families trying to live. We have so much extra traffic now. We are already trying to stop 18-wheelers and all this other traffic going in our neighborhood. We're already having to have repairs on our roads, our ditches, they're being repaired. I won't get started on that. Our roads are atrocious now because of that. The housing value. like I said, I have compassion for that. I just think there's more appropriate houses for this type of place. Specific private homes on private property. I think that would be a better location where they have more property, that they can explore the outside area, where they can have more room inside the house. These houses in Westwood, majority of them are small, 1,400 square foot or less. I can promise you, I've lived there almost my whole life. They're not big. Ask my kids. They are not happy about it. Heating and AC, you better have a good one. It runs all the time. AC, electricity, all that goes through the roof. What I'm saying is I just think there's a more appropriate location for these. And I pray that they find a more appropriate location. And I agree with the rest of them. I don't think businesses belong in a community with families. And I just think the excess traffic flow, I don't think a good study has been done on that to show the legalities and the traffic flow for safety measures with families and children.
Thank you, Amber.
Thank you.
Anyone else here opposed, please come forward.
Hey, my name's Wanda Beasley, and I was raised in Westwood Heights, moved away, and have just recently come back. So I have been there basically since 1965. I mainly have a question. I've seen two letters. One was on the Lord Effingham, and the other letters seem to say on Westwood Drive. Are there two houses being considered?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
This is just the first one.
Okay, so there's gonna be another discussion after this? Okay, because I live on Westwood Drive, and the plot number that it showed, I think is going to be real close to my house, and so, you know, I
That's
just
not tonight. The
kind of
second,
have
the other one's
mixed.
not tonight.
The one on
Yes,
Westwood
is.
Drive
Yes,
is
it
not
is.
tonight?
Yeah, it is tonight. It's the next item.
It's right after these.
What is the proximity that we're delivering, and Keely, you probably know
Same
this,
name, though.
of,
Yes, the same name.
when we have this come up, how far out do we have to spread to mail?
200 feet, sir.
200 feet from the epicenter, I'll call it, so, okay. Gotcha.
And so my concern there is, you know, with two houses, you're going to have twice the number of people in and out, whether it's the healthcare workers, inspectors, residents, their visitors. So, you know, especially with two houses, that's a concern. So,
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Beasley. Sir?
My name's Joe Pritchard. I've lived there for 50 years. What I want to know, who's going to do the ground maintenance on these houses? Who's going to do the maintenance on the houses? What's it going to do to my property value? That's the only questions I have.
Thanks, sir. Anyone else here opposed? Please come forward. Being I see none, I'll close the public hearing. Josh, do you mind coming up real quick, please? What, if any, requirements are required from a building code perspective for this type of operation? Anything at all?
No, with it being a conditional use, with her saying that they would require inspections from the state, we will check that at business license annually, but with it being a conditional use, we won't go in there looking for fire extinguishers or anything like that.
Okay. I feel like we had something similar come up before with.
You can make a condition. I'm assuming.
We had an issue with of veterans, disabled veterans one time.
Yes,
I
it
don't
was,
remember. There was something.
Guyton area. I feel
There was
like, yeah.
but there was a building issue with concern.
That was
Standard, I
occupant.
believe?
How many occupants they could have. She was wanting to do 3 per room.
Okay, okay.
And it was, that was.
Yeah, that was.
Right.
That doesn't apply here,
Yeah.
so.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that was,
That's just what I wanted clarity on
Yeah.
from a building code perspective, so, very good. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Very good. All right. I'll open it up for discussion.
I'll go first if
Yeah, if you'd like a chance for, yeah, absolutely.
I think it's
If you wanna answer his question, that's fine.
So, weekly, I have maintenance that lawn care that comes. Sorry. I'm so sorry. So, gotcha, you got it, no problem. I can project. So weekly, we do have lawn care come. They do twice a year, they do, power wash, sorry, that was the word I was looking for, power washing of the home as needed. Anything that's brought to my attention, we do put, I have a maintenance guy, a veteran handyman who comes to all of my homes and takes care of all of the little things that we have to get taken care of. The fire safety, so we had to have a fire inspection to be able to apply for DBHD's inspection. So it's been inspected by a fire company. We are not required to do anything beyond the fire extinguishers, exit signs, that are lit, or they're illuminated, so that they know where to go and how to exit, unless we're asking to put more than 6 people in a house. And that's
What
through
about your
the.
visitors? How are you handling your visitor situation?
I wish that was really a problem, honestly. Our young lady here is probably one of the few that have strong family connections, quite frankly. Most of the clients that we service have either their families have aged and no longer are able to care for them, or perhaps have, unfortunately, just said, I can't handle it anymore, and have dropped them off at a hospital, or, sorry, I get choked up. This is one of my very passions. I've been doing this since I was 16 years old. I've worked in these homes. I've started on the ground floor to get to be where I am today, where I oversee and I have high standards, and we do take care of our properties. We do take care of maintenance. All of both properties have big, huge backyards. One of them is fully fenced. The other one is 3/4 of the way fenced in. We are contracting to get the other part of it fenced, so that they will have a huge backyard, be able to, one has a pagoda in the backyard, so they have a lot of space to work with. I'm very conscious of the homes that I purchase. Not only do they have bedrooms and a community area, I tend to look for a home that has a secondary area, because I do feel it's necessary. Not everybody wants to be around everybody all the time. So if they have a place extra to go, where it's not like, oh, you don't want to be around Susie, you got to go to your room. No, you can also go and sit in the sitting room, or you can go over here where we have crafts going on. So we do a lot of that, and I take that into consideration when I look at the homes, so that they do have, I'm hoping to create forever homes.
I feel like I read something about staffing, but if you could remind me.
So staffing, it does depend on the level of care that they need.
Well, what would be the maximum with, how many occupants are you looking at, 3?
3 occupants.
So you could potentially have 3 staff.
I could potentially have 3 staff.
Okay.
Typically, we would have 2 staff during the day for like an 8-hour period, so that we can go out in the community. So if somebody wanted to go out and somebody didn't, they couldn't, nobody had to miss out on anything.
What about outside services coming in, any kind of physical therapy, any occupational
Typically, we do
therapy?
not, unless, like anybody else, maybe there was an injury, somebody, got real sick and they needed some physical therapy short period of time. That would be the only time if you or I had the same kind of need. We don't have a typical need of that level. We're not a nursing facility. So overnight, it's 1 staff. I will say, we don't have a 15-passenger van. It's a 7-passenger. It's a Plymouth, just like a caravan. So it's not a monstrosity or anything. And all the parking is off-street. So there's enough for the staffing. They may have to move a car out to bring another car out, but it's enough for them to park in the property.
Would all of your clients be mobile? I mean,
Yes,
okay.
they're all mobile for these
So no
homes.
immobility issues or anything
Nope,
like that?
not in these homes.
Okay.
That doesn't mean I wouldn't service them somewhere else at another time, but
Sure.
not in these homes.
Right, I'm just,
Yeah.
And I think that's a question. You mentioned the various tiers. I'm sort of familiar with that and working with the Trutland House years ago.
Yes.
It's probably a very similar process, I would think, in terms of that. So what you're looking at in these particular homes, because we're getting ready to do the second one too, and I'm
Correct.
assuming it's going to be very similar.
Very similar.
So you said they were mainly tier 2 or
We'd
tier?
be a tier 2, tier 3, yeah. That's really what that does, is denote how many hours we get to help create that staffing pattern.
Right. And so pretty much like you said, for the most part, independent to a degree, doesn't require constant care, as like you say.
Yeah, they're
as you
not
would
somebody
in-
who's in a wheelchair or
Yeah.
in the need of having somebody to bathe them and feed them and all of those natures. It's not the design of these particular homes.
and could you just,
And- oh.
I'm sorry, Ms. Beth, go
You're
ahead.
good.
Go ahead.
I'm on it.
And everyone has their own bedroom?
Absolutely, everybody has their own bedroom.
And I'm assuming all the same gender or
Yes,
not?
these homes are all the same gender.
Okay.
Yes.
Could you define to me what tier 2 and tier 3 is? So,
Certainly. So DBHD, like I said, does their assessments. And so those tiers are based on their level of needs. Now, those levels could be behavioral, not gonna lie. It could be behavioral. I'm a trained instructor for interventions if we needed that. We don't. We usually, we're not set up for that. That's not the design of a home, right? Sometimes the tier 3 could be that maybe they're pre-diabetic. They require a lot of medical oversight, and we are trained to do that, so we're not bringing in additional. We have a nurse who visits once a month for a total of 4 hours in the course of a month. Sorry, am I not? No. So we have a nurse that comes in once a month, probably for a total of 3 hours on that one-time visit to see each client for about an hour. So if they had, maybe somebody has mild cerebral palsy, so they do have a little bit of, difficulty with one hand or one side of their body. They don't need wheelchairs or walkers or anything, but they would need a little more support or maybe a little more oversight, especially when they're taking a shower, make sure they don't get hurt. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a level 3.
okay. And level 3 would require more staff.
Typically, but not 2 days, not 16 hours a day. You're talking about 2 staff, maybe for like 6 hours out of the day.
Gotcha.
And the rest of the time would be single staffing.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am.
You got it. Thank you.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question to the board?
To the board, yeah, go.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, go ahead. I allowed her rebuttal, so
I
yes,
just wanna
ma'am.
ask a question. Is this considered a business or what? Businesses is not allowed in your neighborhood and community. So is this a business?
Yes,
Are they
ma'am.
making money?
It is a profit business, that's correct.
Yes, it's a profit-earning business, and it should not be allowed in your neighborhood.
Thank you, ma'am. All right.
I got one last statement.
Well, hold up. Yeah. Let's,
One last statement. This is Donald Brandt. Here's what concerns me. If y'all approve this, y'all might not be on the board, and some of us old residents might not be there in 10 years, okay? Who is to say that the next group of commissioners, somebody comes up here and they want to have a halfway house in Westwood Heights?
Okay.
You know what some of them are going to say? Well, we've already opened that can of worms.
Yeah.
And that's all I say.
Thank you, Mr. Brandt.
I don't think we need it. Thank you.
All right. Discussion from the board? No, ma'am. We're done.
I'll say a couple things first. Sounds like a great organization. It provides a good benefit to the community, but I'll just get to the point. My hang up on it is this is a business for profit in a subdivision residential development. I think it is definitely implied, even though there's not an HOA here, I just think it's implied that when you buy a house in a subdivision, I think it's understood that that is residential. I just see this, again, I want to be helpful. I think this is a great organization, but just the location, I just don't think in a residential subdivision is where it needs to be. And that's just my main thought.
If it was out on 2 acres, not in the middle of, like you say, a subdivision, possibly, but not like this, I can't support this.
Yeah, and it's tough being up because we have to peel back emotions when we are considering this. And to me, it goes. This is a single family neighborhood, and I know they're proposing a home, but I still go back to it. This is a single family neighborhood, and I think there's a place for it in our county for sure. There's a need for it in the county, but I'm not sure this is it.
Yeah,
This one's tough for me. It's just a tough decision. I have stood against any type of businesses in subdivisions since I've been on here. I don't think I voted for one. And as much as I hate to say it, this is a business. I think it's wonderful. I think the way you have it organized, I've actually seen your daughter at Navigator events. But y'all are right. I mean, it's a business. As much as I hate to admit it in this case, I certainly hope y'all can find somewhere that's not in the middle of a subdivision. If it wasn't here, I'd be saying hallelujah. But it's in the middle of the subdivision, and it's a good for-profit business, but it is a for-profit business. I can't, as much as I want to support it, because of that, I can't, so. Not happily,
Yeah.
but.
And you know, I'd love to come alongside you guys and try to find the solution and try to find the right places for this.
I'd love to help
I'd
find
be happy
a
to do
place for
that.
y'all
There's
to
got to
have
be
homes.
some kind of pattern that you go by or something that fits this type of use that's better than inside a neighborhood. And Westwood's not forgotten. I know you guys are putting up with a lot of drainage, but we're going to get that drainage done. Talked with the county engineer today. We're supposed to be done with the drainage in September, and then we'll start paving. And then we'll start paving in there. So we haven't forgot about Westwood. It's still a great neighborhood, and it got great people there, and it got a lot of longevity, and a lot of people live there a long time. You deserved for that to be single-family home. So I can't support it today, and I don't want to set a precedence either for other neighborhoods until we find the right formula, if you will, to put it, because it's a great cause. I love the cause. I mean, it gets no better than that, even if it is for profit. It really doesn't bother me at all. It's just the place we're in, and like I say, I'm sure we've got a lot of people here on this board and other people in the county would love to help in some way and find the right spots for this. But today, I don't think this is it.
Okay. Anyone else? And Roger, I agree with you. The for-profit side is not as, as critical to me as the precedent is of allowing something, and then how do you tell the neighbor no, the next guy, and the next guy, the next guy. So yeah, anywho, with that, I will ask for a motion.
I make a motion we disapprove.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed, motion carries. Item 5, public hearing, consideration of approve an application by Jennifer Mataloni as agent for Midtown Georgia LLC for conditional use to allow for group home in AR1 located at 124 Westwood Drive, map number 455H, parcel number 208A in the 2nd District.
Good evening, Aquila Wright Development Services. Next is a conditional use request for congregate living services at 124 Westwood Drive. Typically provided in facilities like assisted living. The property is approximately 0.38 acres. Is zoned AR1, is surrounded by AR1 zoning on all 4 sides. The future land use designation is also AR1. The proposed group home would have no more than 3 residents with staff available 24 hours a day. Residents would not maintain personal vehicles. There will be a 15-passenger van. From a land use standpoint, staff finds that 3 residents plus support staff does not create an intensity that is inconsistent with surrounding residential area. The property is served by public water and sewer. Traffic and parking impacts are also anticipated to be minimal. The property's AR1 future land use designation is consistent with the AR1 zoning. Based on the scale of use, existing infrastructure, and anticipated traffic and parking impacts, staff supports approval. Subject to standard conditions applicable to this type of residential occupancy in AR1. Are there any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
I do have one. What did the planning board vote on these 2?
This did not go
No
before the planning
planning
board.
It's
Oh,
conditional.
because it's conditional.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you.
I wished it did. It really needs to go to planning board, in my opinion, but things like
We
this.
can consider policy on that. All right. Ms. Mataloni, I'm going to give you the opportunity to speak again if you wanted to.
Well, I appreciate that, but I think we're pretty sure where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Still a public hearing, so.
Yes, ma'am. I still have to follow my formalities and my procedures here, so, yes, ma'am. Anyone else here for, please come forward. Anyone here opposed that has anything different they want to add? Yes, ma'am. Please go forward.
I'd just like to say
To the microphone, please.
I just need to say respectfully, thank you for your time. When you think of people with Candace's ability, and they live 3 girls in a home, it is a family. They become each other's family when their parents are no longer there. And my heart is grieved that y'all think that these people don't belong where you are.
No,
That-
ma'am.
they are not
No,
a
ma'am.
family. If
that-
we could have done this without the state saying a business has to run this, that would be great. As a parent, I can't go and set up a home. I would have to have an organization to have a home for my daughter so that the state, because she is, even though I am her guardian, she's a ward of the state because she's an adult with disability. She gets an SSI check, and I know the other 2 girls that are going to stay with her are the same young woman. But we as parents can't just go and buy a home and say, come girls, come and live here. The state will not allow that. So under any circumstances, how do we get a home for these girls if it's not a business that comes and provides a home? So thank you.
I know, but
just
I have to.
needed you to make sure that
That's not the reason it was denied.
I do understand.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And I agree with Commissioner Burdette on finding solutions.
Yeah, I think we.
Yeah.
I think we do
I'd
need
love to get together and find
Yeah,
that
just
solution.
before,
This doesn't mean we're not wanting a solution. I just think this is the wrong spot for it. We could find some other solutions, and maybe a larger lot. I don't know. I'd defer to somebody that does this every day to get help with that and get some guidance with that and find out what's good environments and things. So,
Do you have a business card or something you can leave us, some information?
we have our contact
All the
information. here.
information.
I don't think it's where we're not wanting to provide a solution. We're just
And
saying
I'd-
this isn't the solution.
Appreciate that direction, because it is very hard. But the idea of an institution or away from the world is what we're all trying to get away from.
Right, and
I'm
that's
not
what I
opposed
like
to
about the
that.
idea, because they're integrated
If-
with
if-
a
if-
neighborhood.
If you weren't in the subdivision, I'm not gonna say how everybody would vote, because you got on to me one time about that. But I would think that you'd have a totally different vote tonight.
Yeah, right
It's
now
just
you're in a
location.
non-conforming AR1 lot, which is,
Tiny
smaller.
lot,
Right.
tiny homes.
Yeah.
It's
I do
for
what
this
I
size
do,
thing.
and
Right.
other people do
And I
their
believe,
job.
But it
I'm
has
not in that
nothing to do
world.
that we don't want, because this is a
Exactly.
great, that's not the issue. We just need to find a different spot.
And what's very hard for me is I've put in almost a year into these homes,
Yeah.
because these aren't the pieces that are readily available. In terms of coming in, I'm trying to get information. I went through a lot of hurdles trying to get
Yeah,
information
I'm
here
sure
in
you
Effingham
have.
County. So that's why I certainly welcome the information and the direction to go into, because otherwise, I'll go to Chatham, unincorporated Savannah. They're really easy, and I don't want to do that, because there are people in all communities that need the support.
Marie, could you make sure she gets some of our business cards, please? Thank you,
I
ma'am.
appreciate
And
it.
a lot of people start with me. They'll come to me and we go from
All right,
there.
Roger, I'm coming to you from here on out.
So, I mean, if it is my district, I mean, we all have different districts, but a lot of times before things are thought through, and I'll tell them my opinion, and my opinion's only one of 5, so.
I was thrown into the fire when I came. I was
understand.
brought here a year and a half ago to open these homes and was not given a whole lot of direction, so I appreciate the help tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I think it would be great to develop, for someone to develop a neighborhood that is, like, for this would be a great.
Again, it's
Anyway, just,
segregated.
I'm throwing out ideas
It's
and
segregated, and it's
a bigger
something
conversation.
that they don't want us to do.
Yeah,
So
understood.
Which that's what I like that about it, because you're in.
I understand where you're coming, because
yeah,
there's-
I
I
didn't
can
mean-
fight either way.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
could,
I know,
because there are
yeah.
people that need
Yeah,
more
I'm-
enclosure,
yeah.
more stuff,
That's
till
right.
they're ready to move on. And I
And
totally get that. too.
adequate parking, traffic visitation, all those things that typically, I mean, if you had a large family, you may have that too, but,
Correct,
you know,
correct. You don't
it's-
always
it's-
know who your neighbors are gonna
but-
be.
yeah.
Another thing
tough.
is, if you do this and they move on to another home or whatever they do, and you have this conditional zoning on it already, somebody else comes along, buys the house, I don't have a mechanism to say, this can't be a halfway house, or this can't be this. So us as a board, we probably need to look at that, so we do prevent that in the future if we're able to do this in any spot, so.
Right, so, well, just in that respect, We don't do the business of a halfway house.
I know you don't, and that's not your intent.
Yeah.
But if you sold the home,
But
it
we sold the home, we're not selling the license.
doesn't matter, but you'd be
Conditional.
selling the conditional use
The
with the
use follows the
home.
property.
Yes.
Then I wouldn't have known.
Yes,
Right.
it follows
So
you.
that's another reason why we're
Unless
like,
we- I guess
this
unless
is
we
great,
let
but
it
what
get-
happens
do that?
if you vacate
There was
and
something
sell?
one time
That
about
conditional use carries on with that home.
Absolutely.
if
All right,
if-
thank you
if
guys.
this
Appreciate
went
it.
away,
Thank you, ma'am.
then it couldn't continue or something. I don't know.
Okay, anyone here opposed that's not gonna have anything they don't wanna add? Okay, very good. I'll close the public hearing. Open up for discussion from the board.
I make a
none.
motion, we deny.
Okay. Second. Have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed, motion carries. Item 7, consideration to approve an application by Stephen Watkins, agent for Casey Tassane, for a conditional use to allow for telecommunication tower in AR1 located at 464 4th Street Extension, Guyton, map number 320, parcel number 11 in the 3rd District.
Good evening, Aquila Wright, Development Services. This is a conditional use request for a monopole communications tower. The subject property is 4.57 acres and is zoned AR1. All of the surrounding properties are also zoned AR1, and there are currently no houses or other structures on the subject property, according to the applicant in our pre-application meeting. The applicant is proposing the tower to improve wireless coverage in the Guyton area and along several surrounding corridors, including State Route 119, Georgia 17, Springfield, Little McCall Road, and Courthouse Road. Under our ordinance, monopole towers are allowed as a conditional use in the AR1 district, so this is an eligible use for the consideration of this property. The proposed monopole is 195 feet tall, with the lightning rod bringing the overall height to approximately 119 feet. At 4.57 acres with no existing structures on the property per the applicant, staff finds the breakaway portion of the monopole is about 400 feet from the nearest residence. The applicant has also identified a coverage gap within this area and has provided its designated search ring as justification for this location. Those coverage and capacity claims are being presented as information provided by the applicant. From a compatibility standpoint, the site is surrounded entirely by AR1 zoning. It is not within a platted subdivision and currently has no residential structures on the property. Staff does recommend confirming the distance to the nearest existing residence to determine whether any additional design requirements are triggered. Staff supports approval of this project. Any questions?
No, ma'am, not right now. Sir?
Good evening. My name's Steve Watkins. I'm from 2538 Manor Walk in Decatur. And here representing Gulf South Towers, who will be the tower owner, builder, and maintenance company for this proposed monopole, as well as T-Mobile, the anchor tenant on the tower, and Casey Tassane, who is the property owner. I think Ms. Wright did a terrific job breaking everything down and summarizing it. I'll be glad to address any questions. The one thing that she did bring up was the nearest off-site residence, which is northeast 380 feet, 379 feet, and we do have additional platted setback description if you'd like to see that.
The main question I have is, this is in my district, and the drainage on 4th Street Extension is a big deal for the city of Guyton. And our county engineer is currently looking at some plans, I don't know, it's just to dig out that ditch, clean it out. Looking at where the actual tower would be in reference to 4th Street Extension, I mean, I don't think that would affect your project any, but if we do anything with maintaining that ditch, I mean, do you see that being an issue with your project, or?
No, sir. The only place we cross the ditch is an existing access drive, and it has a pipe currently, leads back to the property owned by David and Patricia Hurst.
Okay.
So if that pipe needed to be upgraded, I think that would be part of the
Okay.
ditch maintenance, but that would not affect us, and we really do not increase any runoff with our proposal.
Okay, all right, just wanted to bring that up.
What's-
Thank you.
What size building and how many generators are gonna be on the site?
T-Mobile will have a single generator on site, and it runs about every 30.
Yeah, it recycles probably
Yes,
once a
sir.
week and, yeah, and runs whenever power goes out.
And it, yes, sir. And I would imagine that additional carriers will add their own
That's what I was
generators.
gonna ask you. You're gonna do co-locate with that tower as well? or-
Yes, sir. It's built to sustain 4 to 5 different carriers. So AT&T, Verizon would also be welcome on there. And it's.
So you'll have a pretty good, you have to have a pretty good building footprint for that, co-location there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good. And is that the easement line going to it right there? Looking at your drawing here, I'm sorry. Okay. You said the nearest house is how far away?
379 feet northeast. It's
Okay.
on the Case property, I believe.
Yes.
There's another home 600 feet, or 593, I think, that's due north. And that's a home site right on 4th Street Extension.
Very good. Okay. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
If anyone else here is for, please come forward.
Hello, Alden Strandberg. This is of personal matter. As if you go back to the plats there, the one kind of to the southeast, that's 320 25A.
Are you for this or against it?
I'm kind of neutral
Okay.
right now.
All
I
right.
honestly just happened to see it on the agenda today and was like, oh,
Gotcha.
hey, that's in my backyard almost. So I'm not real good with like estimation of heights of this tower. I know they said 175 feet. Is
17
that
stories.
okay? So pretty friggin' tall.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that there is a lack of cell coverage in that area at all. For sure, it is a dead zone there to 119 to downtown Guyton. We don't have service if we're not on Wi-Fi at our house. So, in that reference, I'm for
If
it.
you run out in the hallway and count 90 ceiling tiles, that's gonna be what it'll be.
Okay. I'll do that on the way out. But I mean, you did answer a lot of questions as far as like the visibility of that from where we stand. My house is barely just not showing up on that map because the majority of our property goes back towards 4th Street versus towards 119. Even though that's a wooded area, sound travels through the woods. So, I don't know. I just,
Should hear, and I'm just familiar because I'm in telecommunications myself, generator exercise probably, I know, every Wednesday in the morning typically. They can schedule that though to be convenient on the run time and when the power goes out as well. And then you're probably gonna have beacon strobes of some sort. You're gonna have strobes on the tower?
No, sir. It'll
It
be
falls
unlighted.
underneath?
Unlighted. It's
Okay, it'll be
just-
unlighted, so you won't have a lighting issue there at all.
can you go back to the other map with the, like, is the arrow where the fenced-in area will be? Like where the tower will sit and like, it's kind of in the.
Site plan? Yeah, there you go.
That's kind of like my reference was like how far back into that piece of property it was gonna sit, which only bumps it closer to
Like
my house.
383 feet from the road, I believe,
And was that,
or the property line of the road.
so this dark black line is a new road that will go in through that property to access the
Yes.
tower?
Yes, ma'am.
Existing dirt road currently, they're gonna add 12 feet of gravel just to make it all weather.
So I know where the residence is that Mr. Case owns. I'm just trying to figure out where he sits in that.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, Yeah.
Let's see,
It was hard to see from the big,
it's right here.
that's where Mr. Case
Yes.
is? Okay,
And that's Tuttle, I believe, and then this is Hurst here.
yeah. Okay, I'm, like I said, I'm still kind of neutral. You don't really know how something's gonna pan out till it's already
It's
too
panned
late.
out.
Already there, so
What's the height of the trees around there, roughly?
they're all very existing,
Timber.
Okay, so it'll be
Timber.
just over this,
yeah.
over the
But there's
horizon, just
not
to
a
here.
ton of thick undergrowth, i.e. my husband hunts all the way back to the edge of our property line.
Right.
So, more disturbance, so it's fine.
Well, just for reference, and I've got from the center of your house to the location of where they're proposing the tower is 900 feet,
Okay.
if that helps. I don't know if it does.
I mean, it's not the
I mean, I'm
300,
just-
so,
Football field,
okay,
basically.
that's it.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone here opposing, please come forward. And I see none, I'll close the public discussion and open it up for the commissioners.
I just wanted to make sure, just address the drainage improvements we have just coming up on 4th Street Extension, but it doesn't look like that. This project will affect that. Hearing no questions or concerns, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Moving into item 8, second reading. Consideration to approve the second reading for an application by Steve Watkins as agent for Casey. How do you pronounce his last name? Tassan, okay. For a conditional use to allow for a telecommunications tower in AR1 located at 464 4th Street Extension, map number 320, parcel number 11 in the 3rd District.
Make a motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? None opposed, motion carries. All right, we're gonna back up to our item number 9, the new business. Consideration to approve the award of RFP number 26-RFP-125 audit services to Nichols, Cawley and Associates LLC.
Yes, sir. Danielle Carver, Procurement and Contracts Director. The county issued a competitive RFP for professional audit services. Proposals were evaluated based on governmental audit experience, qualifications of the proposed team, audit approach and methodology, references and past performance, and proposed fees. So staff is recommending Nichols, Cawley and Associates as the highest ranked proposer.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, we've used Lanier and Deal for some years, and it's just, I'm not aware of any issues that we had with them, but it's just prudent protocol every so often that we change our auditors, just not to keep using the same one over and over. So that's how we got here.
Good. Anyone else have anything you want to add? If not, entertain a motion.
Concur.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 10, consideration to acknowledge a petition for annexation that's submitted by the city of Rincon for a property owned by Milton Jr. and Glenda Ron, consisting of approximately 39.58 acres located on Lexington Avenue, extension map number 447, parcel number 13C01. Madam Clerk.
So before you is another annexation from the city of Rincon. It is a property adjacent to a couple of other properties that were previously annexed by the city. The city will be hosting their consideration on this petition on August 24th. They received the application from the applicant for consideration of annexation on July 23rd of 26. The property is currently zoned AR1, and the proposed zoning upon annexation will be PD for planned development. So this is being brought before you for your acknowledgement.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am. Before we vote, Tim, are we working some things out with them as far as county infrastructure, roads, those types of things?
Yeah, we actually had a meeting this morning with a couple of members of Rincon staff where we expressed, some of our concerns.
Mm-hmm.
So the road itself is only a 30-foot right-of-way. The property owner is on both sides of the road. So we did mention to them that widening that to an appropriate width, not that much, like 60 feet, so we can get lanes in there. So it's the same width essentially as the road that connects to the bridge, which goes over, which they're apparently improving, which goes over to, what's that neighborhood?
It's Cove.
Cates Cove, yeah. And also the potential, and all these properties, for the most part, are in Rankin, of creating a connector road to bring out to the light at the Coastal Trade Center that's going in on 21. Those are some of the concerns that we brought up to them.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. Very good. Any questions?
No, and again, this is an acknowledgement. I mean, it's contiguous. There's not much.
Yeah.
There's not much objection we can have, and I know, you know, there are still obviously outstanding concerns.
Yeah.
On the proposal, but this, again, really has nothing to do with that proposal.
Well, I know we're going to work well together with them. It's just a matter of putting it on record and discussing.
Yeah,
That's all.
figured it out.
Yeah, and I mean, the types of development that they're contemplating here is a huge number of homes, and a lot of that traffic will dump out on county roads that weren't designed for that type of traffic. So there's definitely concern from the county. We can't stop them from annexing it, but there's definitely a concern about the impact it'll have not only on the residents that live on those roads, but also county taxpayers who may end up having to upgrade those roads or maintain them more than they do now because of the amount of traffic that'll come. So
And the safety concerns.
and the
alone.
safety
I mean,
concerns as well. Yes.
Okay.
But again, with that, this is acknowledged, you know, that this, again, is a separate issue. So with that, I make a motion, we acknowledge as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed, motion carries. Reports from commissioners, administrative staff. Tim, we'll start with you.
Yeah, just real quick, I've got 2 items. We are in the process of crafting an agenda for the August 29th, Saturday, August 29th meeting to provide information in a workshop format for the board in this room for Project Camellia. There will be some time also for public comment as well. And we should hope to have an agenda early next week that we can send out to folks. We're just in the process of cobbling together all of the content that we need to get out. Also, at the next meeting, but I wanted to just to announce it now because we're going to get the information out. So now for the 6th year in a row, the county is going to recommend the full rollback of county M&O property taxes. I think there's only one jurisdiction other than us in the entire region that's done that. That's Bryan County, and so we're proud to be able to do it this year. It was a little tighter this year on the budget in order to do that, particularly with the new officers that we're doing with the sheriff's office, but through Mark's hard work on this, we're able to accomplish it, and so that would be lowering the county M&O millage from 5.596 to 5.466. So, all good news. Oh, and I do have a need for a brief executive session
Very good.
tonight.
Commissioner Floyd, we'll start with you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
before
ma'am.
you go forward, just to kind of piggyback on what Tim just said, for the benefit of the public, the agenda will be published as it typically is because it is a regular meeting of the commissioners. So it will be posted on Wednesday next week.
Thank you, ma'am.
I don't have anything to add.
All right. Commissioner Burdette?
Yeah, I'll add to that. We're going to have a panel discussion also. been working closely with Ms. Susan Kraut from the Chamber. She's been fantastic. Made some connection with Georgia Tech experts considering data centers. I wanted an outside opinion that's unbiased, and I think academia can provide that. So we're going to have 2 panels. We're going to have one that morning and one that evening. So hopefully we'll get out just a ton of information, and not just from us and not just from developers, but somebody that's outside of the project. What I was truly looking for was an unbiased opinion, and I think I found that through Dr. Saeed and his colleagues. There'll be at least 3, maybe 4 on the panel from Georgia Tech. So we'll be able to ask them questions, submit your questions early. I'll be on that panel along with several others, but mainly Georgia Tech. So I'm excited about that. A lot of work is going to go into that. And between that and that Saturday that we're going to have our informational session, we put out just a ton of information. And that's all I have.
Good. Thanks, sir. Mr. Deloach.
On the topic of Water and Sewer Authority, I know City of Springfield had it on one of their agendas, and if I remember correctly, I think they did vote to move forward with getting the consultant. As far as Guyton and Rankin goes, because I had a conversation with Andy Harville, the mayor of Guyton, are we wanting them to put something officially on their agenda, or are we just looking for the mayors to come back and say, hey, I've talked with my council, we're good with looking at the consultant?
Well, it would be nice once we get a proposal. We've been doing some research. We think we found a really good firm that can really give us the financial analysis of this. And it really does dig in deep. It digs in deep to the value of the assets that each entity has, their customer base, cash flow, all that kind of stuff. So they can give us an honest analysis of how this would look like and how it would affect each thing. So we found one. We're waiting for a proposal to get back to them. Once we get that proposal, I would recommend that each of the city, does commit a portion to the consulting contract, just so we have a level of commitment on all parties. So this way, we're not involving anybody that's not interested in moving forward with this.
Yeah, see, that's what, and maybe I misunderstood. I thought at our last meeting, we kind of wanted them by middle of September, end of September, to kind of at least let us know who was, who wanted to move forward.
Correct.
Once
right.
we got that.
Yeah, and so we told them that, and but as for once we actually have the consulting proposal, we'll probably set up an IGA between the 3 cities to share costs on that.
So we really won't need anything formal from them until that point. But just at this point, we're just looking for a thumbs up.
Giving me an indication, like the city of Springfield did, is very helpful.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I do want to make one quick point. When I say I mean we. It takes all of us to do this. I say I a lot because when I'm speaking for myself, and I don't want to put words in other people's mouths. But whenever I say I, we have a team here, and we have staff here, and we have a lot of people do a lot of work that nobody sees. So I want to recognize that and just make sure everybody's aware of that I'm not trying to say I'm out there just doing all this stuff by myself, because I'm not. It takes everybody here. But thank you.
You with the acknowledgement of everyone here on board.
Yeah.
Very good. Commissioner Helmy?
A couple of my comments are just about the August 29th meeting, and just to make they're clear that this is a separate meeting, has nothing to do with the chamber. They're running that on their own. I wish that you would reconsider having it here. I feel like this is too small of a venue. So I wish the powers that be that make those decisions, I would like that to be reconsidered to a larger location. I do want the location to be air conditioned for sure, and but also have the capability of streaming. So that would limit it to probably some school. But in any case, I'd like that to be considered. I know the agenda, as Ms. Johnson just stated, will be posted as normal, but I would like to get out at least the time frame that this will be, so that people can go ahead and make plans for that.
And we do have that, and I apologize.
Okay.
It's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay.
Saturday morning.
Okay, so that's been established as a time, okay. So the only thing basically is to reconsider the location.
And this will be a work session, just to be clear, so.
Yeah. Work session with
Yeah,
public,
yeah, but that's correct.
public, anyway.
All right. Anything else?
No, I'm done.
Okay.
I had 3 things, and y'all have done well at covering them. Thank you.
Very good.
I do want to say one more thing.
Oh, you're
and give
done, Roger.
credit.
You've used all your credits.
I want to give credit where credit's due. I do get ideas from constituents as well. People come to me, and a lot of people are concerned. You know, and everybody's just not being mad at me all the time. Some people actually are concerned and come to me and have questions, and some really good suggestions. So I appreciate that. It goes a long way. So we do listen, believe it or not. Not right now, though. Maybe later we could talk. But I get a lot, just like from you. I get, and the gentleman earlier, I get suggestions, and I try to use them when I can, and it makes a big difference. So thank you.
All right, very good. No, I'm looking forward for the community to be able to have this meeting on the 29th to get information, understand the processes, understand the functions of each individual entity and how it's involved. And, you know, kind of get a workflow process of how that goes. A lot of misconceptions out there on how things roll. So I hope that gets explained very well. With that, I will entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel, property, and pending litigation.
Second.
Have a motion, have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed, motion carries.